for NASCAR, it is time to go west.
Las Vegas Motor Speedway playing host to the NASCAR Xfinity Series. It's all about getting lucky when you come to Las Vegas.
Nice little pack there battling for position.
Green flag in the air. We're off and rolling in Las Vegas.
Oh, sideways.
What a save and a hard hit.
This is Vegas. You want to go up there and get the checkered flag in this city.
82 degrees, sunshine everywhere. It's a gorgeous Saturday afternoon at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything they learn making tires for the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what rolls into yours. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. And now we go from the driver's seat with a guy that made his debut here 2 years ago, Brennan Poole, your teammate, rolling off at 11th. Jamie.
Hey, Brennan, this is Jamie McMurray up in the FS1 booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Awesome. So I just got in from cup practice, and the track has gotten really wide. Do you have a plan? Do you try to run the high side? Are you going to stick to the bottom? I know the bumps are a huge deal in turn one. What's your plan today?
Oh, well, it's something that I've noticed a little bit too watching you guys. It seems like the tire this year just put down a lot of rubber, and the grooves widened it out a lot. So, yeah, the bumps have been pretty bad for me all weekend. We seem to have been fighting that, getting through there. So, you know, I'm going to move around and just try to figure out what's best for me and my car. And, you know, sometimes you just got to run where they're not running. So we'll just have to see how it goes.
Hey, Brendan, it's Michael Waltrip up here with Jamie. The car seems like it's got a lot of speed in it. How do you strategize around this stage racing? You only got 45 laps to get to the front. Are you going to charge 2 tires? Is that an option?
It's something that's tough about this Xfinity Series and these new stages. You know, everyone's so fast and so competitive, it makes it tough. But, you know, that'll be up to Chad. You know, we saw some wear on our left side tires yesterday in practice, so I think it'll be tough to just take 2. So just have to see how things play out, try to put ourselves in the best position to have a good day.
All right, we're going to ride along with you. We'll check in later. May the force be with you.
Hey, thanks, guys.
A nice reference to his helmet, huh? So let's hear from our pit reporters. Before we go green, time for those pit headlines. Matt Yoakum, you are on the clock, my friend.
Well, Adam, one driver I think to keep your eye on today is Brennan Gaughan, the Las Vegas native. Today is his 500th career start in NASCAR. He showed the most speed of anyone in practice, but threw it away in qualifying, just trying too hard. Loaded with confidence and experience, he has wins here in Winston West in trucks, and I think Jamie Mack would agree, no win is sweeter than the one at your home track. Jamie Little.
Well, Darrell Wallace coming off a top 10 finish at Atlanta, unloaded with a top 10 car here in Vegas as well. But after he got out of the car in final practice yesterday, his health hit the brakes. Darrell Wallace telling me he spent some time today in the infield care center getting IVs. I said, do you have a backup plan, a backup driver? He said, when you have a car this good, nothing can keep me out. Chris?
Well, Brad Keselowski still trying to get Team 22 back to victory lane, but the big difference this year is they're leading laps and they are challenging for the front. But looking at when the team was last in victory lane back in 2015, they've been passed for the final lead change 10 different times. Brad's got a fast car. He had a really fast car in qualifying, hoping to flip that stat about that final lead change today. Adam?
Chris, he's a veteran. He should be good here. Talking about Brad Keselowski. But what about the youngsters? 5 rookies in the field, and there is so much to digest when you come to this place.
Biggest learning curve at Vegas is just the aero. It's fast. There's really 2 lanes, maybe 3.
Biggest thing in Vegas is just being smooth on the throttle early in the run and try not to make sure you hurt your tires for late in the run.
This is one of the tracks that really taught me you got to be here at the end to be winning these races. So, you know, I try to apply that everywhere I go now.
Jamie, do you remember your first trip to Las Vegas?
I do. I remember it was with Bruco back in the Clarence Brewer days.
Yeah. Central City, Kentucky.
You know what I love about this racetrack is it's just about speed. You got a lot of grip, and if you can just hold the throttle down deep into these corners, that can make a big difference. We were at Atlanta last week. We were slipping and sliding everywhere. The harder you try, sometimes the slower you go. Here you can really take advantage of some throttle.
Absolutely, and the Goodyear's, I did the Goodyear tire test out here, and they've actually brought, I think, a really good tire because it takes off fast. At 5 laps, it slows down. At 10 laps, it slows down. And honestly, at 20 laps or so, you're sliding around, which is what we all want.
Other good thing for these young drivers, we're stage racing, fellas. After 45 laps, you know you're going to get a caution and have a chance to work on that thing. Daniel Suarez, reigning champion. This has been a good track for him, and he's rolling off inside the top 5.
Hey guys, thank you very much for all the effort, for the hard work. I really appreciate it. Already we have a hard race right here. Have some fun. Hopefully I will see you guys in victory lane.
We'll see Suarez going for his 4th career victory. Won the last time he was on a 1.5 miles. That was the season ender at Homestead Miami Speedway when he claimed the 2016 championship. As we get set to go green, we remind you of this. The 2017 Toyota Camry X SE is pacing the field. And it is about time to pull that Camry down pit road and put the field in the hands of another Camry. Kyle Busch winning the pole, going for his 4th straight win. When you talk about his last 4 starts, he's been so good but never won 4 in a row. He won this race last year from the pole, leading 199 laps. We'll see if he can do it again. On the front row with Brad Keselowski. Row 2, Suarez and Logano. Let's put the green flag in the air and go racing on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon in Las Vegas.
It looks like the outside lane wasn't as big of a deficit as it was last week at Atlanta. The 22's hanging on to his quarter, and man, if you can stay in that position he's in to turn 3, I think you hit the corner. But obviously Kyle's cleared him there, and I mean, when you're the leader, you can feel the air kind of break away, and it's yeah, a lot of grip right now.
I got a good push from Daniel Suarez too. Did Busch allowed him to get ahead of Keselowski. Suarez is hung down there now though.
Yeah, Suarez going to use that inside lane as they head back to turn 1 and 2, but a little momentum for the double deuce. Brad Keselowski going nowhere, and just behind them, the team car. Joey Logano in the 12, 4th right now.
Good run off turn 2 for Keselowski. He is not only able to pull ahead of Suarez, he was gaining on Kyle Busch as well. So a really good 22 car today.
Yeah, I noticed at the end of our happy hour, when we're looking at the racetrack and you see those guys get in the corner, where you see the black in the track was the least amount of grip. You either wanted to be below that or above it.
From the driver's seat with Brennan Poole, and he's in the middle of the beehive here. That white car on the inside, the 98 of Eric Almirola. Ryan Reed in the red and white 16 getting around to the outside.
Daniel Suarez is persistent for the 2nd spot. He's able to hook that white line right on the bottom. What a great turn for that kid.
Yeah, it's unbelievable when we talk about the white line. It's like they put something special on that white line, because if you can get your tires on it, it just has so much grip.
Top 5 drivers all doing double duty, running here this afternoon. 300 miles, another 400 with the Monster Energy Series. Kyle Busch started on pole, has led the first 3 laps. Suarez, Keselowski, Logano, Austin Dillon, those top 5 that I talked about, and some adventures early for youngster Dakota Armstrong in the 28, the green car in the middle.
It's violent in the middle, isn't it, Jamie? That air is blowing all over. You can't hardly hang on to your car.
Yeah, honestly, when you get put in the middle, you're the guy that concedes. The guy on the outside isn't going to, and the guy on the bottom isn't. So when you're in the middle, you're kind of just the one that has to give it up. I'll tell you, I've watched Brad in the Xfinity car and also in the Monster Energy car, and he's worked the higher side in 1 and 2 more than anyone else, and I think he's going to try to figure that out in the race and how to make that work.
I felt like we saw these two together on track a lot last week at Atlanta. Teammates Elliott Sadler, William Byron. Here they are again, the veteran and the rookie.
That's a good way to learn. If you're the rookie, you got a caution.
Yellow's out. Yellow's out.
Early caution. See it a lot here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Slow car down the back straightaway. Going to be the 97, Stephen Light, off the pace. 5 laps in. You have 4 sets of tires in the pits. And you know we're going 45 laps before we get another caution when we end stage 1. I say it's way too early unless you've got a problem. 40 laps remaining in this run. Probably stay on track.
You agree?
I totally agree. There's, yeah, no way is anybody pitting here unless something's just wrong with your car. Steven's going to pit, I can tell you that.
Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Austin Dillon, the top 5. We're live in Las Vegas on FS1. Happy you're here.
What surprised me about this trip the most was just all the lights and everything. I mean, it's a sight to see.
It's always a fun and new adventure to watch the latest batch of tourists come off the plane. And
It caught me off guard how fast-paced everything is. North Carolina, everybody kind of takes their time and just goes at their own pace. Feels like if you blink, you're in the way here, so you just got to pick up the pace everywhere you go.
Earlier, the young drivers were giving us their first impressions of Las Vegas in regard to the racetrack. And Jamie, I said, do you remember your first trip to Las Vegas? And you said, yes. Michael, I'm not going to ask you about your first trip to Sin City. Now our Ford track facts, you see them on the screen. Fords have won 3 of the last 5 races here. 3 different drivers delivering. And the Roush Fenway organization, the all-time wins leader, a half a dozen times they have gone to victory circle.
I was most excited about getting to Hoover Dam when I came out this way.
Let's leave it at that, all right? So we're going to get the restart here as we complete lap 9 of 45 in our opening stage. Any thoughts, early observations? It's going to be Kyle Busch once again taking the inside lane.
Well, I just saw Brad Keselowski get a great restart on the outside. Jamie, you talked about how last week in Atlanta that was nearly impossible. Right. And also, Suarez and Keselowski looked like they had the same pace that Kyle had. So it'd be interesting to see if Suarez can hang on that outside and get the lead.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if Brad can clear Suarez here, and if he can actually get a run on. I'm going to bet Brad might make a move into turn 1 even on the 18 here.
He's got a good
start.
He's
on his bumper, yeah. Of course, his teammate was pushing the 20 at the same time.
Look at that, 3 wide.
No patience on the restart.
Matt Tifft is in a bind there. You can see the black car. Wow, it's so tight back there.
Yeah, they did a good job not getting into each other right there.
Yeah, that yellow car there just went through the bottom of your screen. That's Ty Dillon. He's the one that jumped out of line just past the start-finish line, went around Matt Tifft. Tifft, the rookie, restarted 7th, going in the wrong direction, and things getting good here at the front. On board with Kyle Larson, who's getting after it on the restart.
Well, we know that he'll try the high side, right? There's no, there we go, no question that he's going to try it. That Credit One Chevy was fast in practice. He felt really good about his car, and typically Kyle is honest. If he thinks it's good and he says it's good, he normally runs really well.
I thought it was really interesting last week how he used the Xfinity race to discover that Harvick line down on the bottom of the track, and it nearly paid off with the win on Sunday. You drivers not only can learn by driving in these races, you learn a lot by watching as well.
Well, and I feel like Kyle wants to make the top work at a lot of places. But Kyle's just a good driver, and he can figure it out. He did a really good job figuring out the bottom at Bristol at times when he needed it. And then last week, he committed to that, and they got their car to work. And like you say, on Sunday, he was able to make it work as well.
Brendan Gaughan, I talked about how qualifying in the back, and he would swing up to the high side and make some ground. He's doing a nice job early. Dedicated to the bottom, though, there on that turn.
And in front of him, Justin Allgaier. Haven't seen a ton of speed out of Junior Motorsports or that 7 car this weekend, but he looks good early on. Darrell Wallace Jr. qualified 16th. Watch that purple car. Kind of like last week, got into the wall early, but came back for a solid run. We'll see what he does with it here.
I tell you, there's places that you can brush the wall and it doesn't affect the handling a lot. This is not one of those places. This is one of those places the aero is so important. And these cars, they work so hard on getting that right rear quarter out and manipulating it as much as they can. And when you brush the wall like that, it just takes so much grip out of the car.
And Jamie told us in pre-race coverage, as a reminder, flu-like symptoms for driver 6. We'll keep our eye on Darrell Wallace Jr. right now being scored back in the 15th position. For a position here, it's Brendan Gaughan to the outside of the 19 of Matt Tifft.
Well, I was impressed by Tift's ability to maneuver through that 3-wide traffic he found himself in. He kept his cool. He let off the gas a bit, fell back in line, and now he's charging his way back to the front. That was a great job by that young man.
Couple of truck starts here for Matt Tifft, but never been here in the Xfinity Series. Top 12, first 2 times out this season.
Nice pass.
Yeah, he's got a good car to make it stick like that on the bottom and get through the bumps and be able to stay on that white line. That was a solid job.
Up front, Kyle Larson is starting to think that maybe he needs to run a little bit higher than everybody else.
It's shocking, but I'm going to say he's going to work the outside right here. So when you're in the car right now, like what Kyle's looking at, he's trying to get his right side tires into that gray because that's where the grip is. And you just can carry so much momentum off of the corner, and there he's going to make the pass on Daniel. And it looks like he's going back to the bottom. So maybe he's preferring the bottom, but was able to get that momentum on the top.
That was an impressive move, the way he's able just to cut to the bottom and make that run.
7th to 3rd. We're now 16 laps in here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 29 to go in our opening stage. Kyle Busch started on poles, led them all. Brad Keselowski right behind him. We mentioned Kyle Larson up to third. Then it's Suarez and Logano completing the top 5. Elliott Sadler trying to work his way to the front. Started 14th to the inside of Eric Almirola. How they feeling, Jamie?
Not too good. It's been one of those weekends, and I talked to Elliott before he got in the car, and he said, we just haven't got a hold on this new balance, this new aero package. We are down on speed. He's really been working on that, moving around the track, trying to find a line that's faster, but he told his team, we're not making any progress here. So fighting rear grip extremely tight in the middle, and they reminded him, you have 3 cycles on these tires. Hang tight, we'll get some new tires soon.
He might not be happy, but Darrell Wallace Jr., after popping the wall, able to get around Eric Almirola.
Yeah.
That's a positive sign, huh?
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, the one thing that, and the Cup guys are going through that this year versus where we always used to get to start the race on stickers. Now we have to start on qualifying tires, and the Xfinity Series has always been that way, but it's a difference. You know, you get your car set up in practice to work on stickers, not scuffs, and then you have to start the race on scuffs. So it's, I mean, it does make a difference, and when you struggle a little bit on the scuff tires, you're hoping that when we put stickers on, it's going to fix a lot of it.
And you know, Jamie, I've heard more about cycles on tires this year than I've ever heard before. Larry McReynolds, what are the crew chiefs thinking when they're talking about cycling the tires?
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up on that Jamie mentioned about Elliott Sadler in the one car, and what you mean by cycles. Every time you go out on the racetrack on a set of tires, that's another cycle. These drivers have to start the race on their qualifiers, and Elliott Sadler made an additional run in one of those rounds trying to advance to the next. So that's what Jamie was talking about, cycles on the tires.
I don't know if Justin Allgaier likes his tires, but I gotta believe he likes his car. Driver 7, now P6, Matt.
Sure does like that car. He just moved up 1 spot in the running order. They're really trying to right the ship, so to speak. Started off the year rough at Daytona and Atlanta with 30th place finishes, and that's what Jason Burdett, his crew chief, said. They're just trying to start solidifying their days with solid finishes. We need to start today here in Las Vegas with a top 10 and build on that. We've done it in the past before, did it last year. We're hoping their season truly starts today.
Put Brennan Poole up to 15th, Matt. Just went around to the inside of Eric Almirola in that white and blue 98. Strong start for the DC Solar Chevrolet. After dropping back, has rallied now and finds himself inside the top 15. Teammates here, Ty Dillon, Daniel Hemrick.
It's a battle for the 8th position.
Hemrick was really impressive last week at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Had the one pit issue where he went from 5th to 15th, but was able to get a top 10 run after that crash down in Daytona to begin the year. And you look at Richard Childress Racing, 5 entrants in 2017, 3 of them inside the top 10. Good start to the afternoon. This has been a good track for them. It won here 3 times, including 2 years ago when Austin Dillon just laid it on the field.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's starting to move up a little bit. Even in turns 3 and 4, I saw Ty Dillon make a pass by doing that, and it looks like all 3 of our leaders are actually starting to work the top of the racetrack on both ends as well.
Well, you can see there's definitely 2, 3, even maybe 4 grooves out there. Eric Almirola is running around the middle of the track and is able to hold off Cole Custer in that 00 car. And somebody that hasn't made any progress is William Byron. He's back to 19th, losing that position there to Brandon Jones.
You know, he told us yesterday that the stage format for him, a lot like what he faced last year as a rookie in trucks with the caution clock. He really likes, as a young driver, to know early on, I'm going to have an opportunity to come in and make adjustments. He's really going to need that here. 21 laps to go till we end the opening stage at Las Vegas. So far, it's been the Kyle Busch show. Started on the poles, led all 24 laps. Keselowski, Larson, Logano, Suarez, Allgaier, the drivers behind him early on. 29 of 45 laps complete in our opening stage for the Xfinity Series here at Las Vegas. It's Kyle Busch out front. And speaking of Toyotas, we encourage race fans to follow Toyota Racing for more content and more conversation about what's happening as NASCAR goes west. Use the hashtag NASCAR goes west. It's all presented by Toyota. So what's happening with the race leader? 15 laps to go in stage 1.
Leave the air pressure in the next set of tires how we were originally going to start them. You know, the changes we made on the grid, take that back out, and probably
I think he's vibrating a little bit.
Maybe.
Or something's going on. He wants minor adjustments, but I'm telling you, Adam, Kyle has company in the form of Kyle. That Larson car has awakened. He drove around Keselowski, and he's closed in on our race leader.
Yeah, this happens to be the home of Credit One, and when I was walking up here, I walked by their suite. I would love to be in there right now if he can get to the lead and hear them erupt. So that's really cool to see how quick how Kyle's coming. And he's looked at his mirror and has seen how high the 42 is running, and is trying to duplicate that.
So Kyle Larson qualified okay. He started in the 7th position, but since the green flag went in the air, steady climb to the front. Jamie?
I'll tell you, and he has not said a word on the radio, and Jamie McMurray knows him very well. He doesn't talk much anyway, but when his car is good, he is silent. I just talked to his crew chief, Mike Shiplett. They're happy with the handling of the car. They've had speed all weekend long as he comes up on Kyle Busch. Lead change for the first time. Happy bunch down here in the 42.
He was a second back 6 laps ago. Now Kyle Larson working on the point, and a screen put out by the 01 of Harrison Rhodes. They're working lap traffic. How entertaining is this?
That's awesome to watch that happen. And I obviously Larson knew that was coming, approaching. You could tell he wasn't too aggressive. But yeah, that's really fun to watch.
Watch this run. He got off turn 4 to dive onto the apron and grab the lead, but there's traffic ahead.
Saw the 07 there, Ray Black Jr. That's the 01, the red car there of Harrison Rhodes. And they'll also come up on the 24 of Drew Herring, putting all these guys a lap down. And with now 11 laps to go in stage 1, we have 27 cars scored on the lead lap.
I tell you, when you are spotting, or when you're the guy that gets put in the position that Harrison Rhodes was in, is when your spotter just mumbles. Like he's like inside, outside, just kind of screaming. You're like, I have no idea what he just said.
He doesn't want any part of that, right?
Right. Why'd you put me in that position?
Austin Dillon in the 2, company from his rookie teammate, the 21, white and purple machine of Daniel Hemrick. Surprising this battle outside the top 10. These cars have been strong, at least in qualifying earlier today.
And then closing on these 2 is another RCR teammate, Brendan Gaughan. You can see there in the black and gold car. He's making some good progress, and Brendan Poole has been solid throughout this first run.
You know, we haven't touched on a lot that's been good. Matt Tifft. He had a good qualifying run driving for Joe Gibbs Racing, and the rookie out of Ohio is 8th. Opportunity for him to pick up some points as we close on the end of stage 1. 9 laps remaining, and the separation back now to 0.3 of a second for Kyle Busch in front of Kyle Larson. And there's the 19 of Matt Tifft.
I guarantee you he learned a lot on that first restart we had today when he got put in the middle and he got freight trained, but he is able to keep his cool, and now he finds himself running solidly in the top 10. That was a good experience for him to go through and to survive.
I am a huge fan of the stages. I really like when I watch these races on TV, when I watched Atlanta, and you know that the caution is coming out in 8 laps, I really enjoy that because I think everyone gives a little more effort on the restart. And at this point, when there's 8 laps to go, if you're working someone over, you're going that extra step to try to get the extra point, where if we didn't have that, it's a different scenario. So I really am a fan of the stages.
Well, I'm a big fan of Bubba Wallace. Man, he ran into the wall coming off turn 4. I thought for sure it would hurt his aerodynamics, but he's been able to survive that.
Well, here's what I'm thinking, is that he's hit the wall, so now he has an excuse to work on that. And so his car is still pretty good. So in his mind right now, he's like, man, when they pull this out another 3 inches from what it really should be, it's going to be even better.
So what happens a lot of times, Adam, is when you damage your car, you fix it even better than it was when it was new. And I think that's what Bubba's hoping for.
Sometimes a light brush is okay.
Teammates here. This is for 3rd. Brad Keselowski in the 22. Joey Logano in the 12. Handful of starts this year for the 12 team, and they've been strong so far this weekend here at Las Vegas. What have you got for us, Chris?
Well, Kyle Busch still able to keep the car out front, but the last 20 laps saying that car progressively getting looser as the run is going on. But you guys heard him having a little bit of fun with the vibration that he's had in that car. Just a couple laps ago, he said, guys, this vibration, it's getting worse. The good thing is we're about 5 laps away from caution.
Michael Annette hoping he can stay on the tail end of the lead lap, but it's not going to happen here. Right now he's 25th. Kyle Busch going to go around him. And look at this group. Austin Dillon, Brendan Poole, Brendan Gaughan.
Yeah,
fun to watch.
Look at this battle for the lead. If Kyle Larson knows that Kyle Busch is a little bit loose, getting up on that rear bumper will make that even worse.
Yeah, and you know, this track has been notorious. For some reason, the tire that we have brought here for the last few years there's always a set or two in your race that vibrates really bad. But I haven't had that all weekend, and I haven't really heard anyone complaining about it. So I don't know if a wheel weight's come off the 18 or if, you know, it's just a set that's shaking. But we haven't really seen that all weekend.
4 laps to go, stage 1. Kyle Busch has been out front for the first 41, but Kyle Larson there once again.
They're just, I think Kyle Larson is just wanting to inch up even more and more on that outside to see if he can get that big run again.
You know, one of the things was, as you look at the spoilers on these cars, it's so much smaller than last year. And I noticed in cup practice that the fact that our spoilers keep getting smaller, I didn't notice as being an aero tight or aero loose. So I think it's all kind of headed in the right direction there.
Yeah, that's got to make a big difference, because that big blade that was on these things, there was no way to run in that wake, and they've got that figured out now.
Joey Logano trying to go around Brad Keselowski for third.
Good.
And all of this 3 seconds behind that battle for the lead.
Great battles all over the race.
Yeah, really good racing going on right now. You, the 18 is lifting pretty early, I'm assuming, because he's loose into 1. But he's getting a huge run off, and I thought Kyle was going to be able to clear him on the bottom the last lap, but he just wasn't able to get the speed that he needed on exit. He's got a little run right now, though.
That's a lap car, the 11 of Blake Cook. He's 23rd, going to go a lap down as we come around with 1 lap to go in stage 1. Here's Larson peeking to the inside off of turn 4. Can't make it happen.
Yeah, he clearly has the better car right now. It's just a hard pass to complete.
And how do you articulate to your crew what it's going to take to be better with an adjustment? With your Kyle Larson, do you think you tell the crew to work on it, or do you just say, okay, I'm better than him, I think I'm going to be okay?
Well, I think we have to see what if your car's close right now, obviously the 18 thinks he's too loose. If you're close right now, I think you have to see what it does on sticker tires. Oh, there he goes to the bottom trying to make it work.
This might be a real fun finish here, stage 1.
Yeah,
final
it's
lap,
gonna be close.
final corner. Here's Kyle Larson to the inside. Can he make it stick? The answer is at the start-finish line. I think it was a photo finish. I'm going to give it to the 18.
Yeah, that was close.
By 6/100ths of a second, Kyle Busch able to win.
Oh, the 18 is so glad the cautions come out right now.
Yeah, we talked about the speed, 190 miles an hour down into the corner in a loose car.
Yes.
Put it out, stage 1 completion.
Top 10 stage 1, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Justin Allgaier got back to 5th, our top series regular. Then it's Daniel Suarez, Matt Tifft, Darrell Wallace Jr. 8th, Ty Dillon 9th, and Ryan Reed completes the top 10. We're 45 laps in at Las Vegas, and Kyle Busch has been the man in charge. Stage 1 complete at Las Vegas. Here's how the series regulars fared. Best of the bunch, Justin Allgaier was 5th. He gets 6 points for his efforts, and that's good after back-to-back 30th place finishes to start the year. Darrell Wallace Jr. finished inside the top 10. Great job by him when you consider he was 18th after hitting the wall. Pit road is open. That means they're coming down to Matt Yoakum.
Justin Allgaier, the first of the leaders to hit pit road. He was running in the 5th position, clean tear off. The car was just tight through the center, but then as it progressed through that run, it was tight at both ends of the racetrack. Air pressure adjustment on the 7. Jamie?
Kyle Larson just missed out on winning that first stage, saying he's just a little freer now, needs some more front grip, but really, really good car overall, Chris.
Joey Logano, good balance for the first 20 laps, progressively looser. That last 20 laps, the team going to try and make the car a little bit more consistent. Kyle Busch starting to give up a little bit to Kyle Larson late in that run, saying we're just leaning on that right front way too much.
Kyle Busch isn't going to lead them all today because he just lost the top spot off of pit road. Great effort by Kyle Larson and that 42 team. He's the first off, and Kyle Busch lost a couple in that exchange.
Remember we talked about the pit road speeding penalties that might be coming down. We'll have to follow that all day long. Hey, Kyle Larson, it's Michael Waltrip up in the FS1 booth. You happy?
Hey, Michael, we're on the other channel, bud.
Okay, I'll go over there.
Let your fingers do the walking.
Channel 2 coming up. Kyle Larson, Michael Waltrip, Fox Sports 1. Do you copy?
Yeah, I got you.
That 42 car looks really impressive today. High and low, you got it all. Did you make an adjustment there?
Yeah, I think they made just a slight air pressure adjustment. Our Credit One Bank Chevy is is a lot better than I expected it to be, especially over the bumps. Yesterday we struggled over the bumps. Today it seemed to be getting through there pretty decent. So hopefully we can get a good restart here and lead some laps and try and pull away from these guys.
Hey Kyle, it's Jamie. Just curious, are you going to choose the inside or the outside? At Atlanta, it was obviously a big advantage to be on the inside, but here, I mean, what are you thinking?
I don't know, Jamie. You got all the age on me, so maybe you can give me some advice. I'm not really sure what to do. Joey's car takes off really good, so but also, Kyle Busch is good, so I'll probably just choose the bottom.
Well, I appreciate that comment, Kyle. I honestly didn't want to ask you a question, and they forced me to, and then you got to me on it.
All right, buddy.
You're like a driver coach up here. You know that you didn't know you were going to play that mentor role, did you?
I had no idea. Kyle has a really good sense of humor, though, and I don't think you get to see that a lot. So I probably had that coming.
Getting ready for stage 2 here at Las Vegas Speedway, the Xfinity Series. Let's show you how stage 1 looked. Great day here at Las Vegas, and it started early with Kyle Busch on the point, a position he's very used to being in.
Picked up right where he left off last year, where he led 199 laps.
Darrell Wallace hit the wall early. He's not feeling good, but he was back up to 8th, and then with 12 to go in segment 1, Kyle Larson in the number 42 passes Kyle Busch, but darn that lap traffic, Larry.
Lap traffic got him. He had his opportunity there, Shannon, but he just couldn't complete it, and that's how close it was. Who won that stage 1.
That's right. And if you don't think that this is a complete team effort here in NASCAR, take a look at this. Look at how these crew guys were able to get Kyle Larson that track position that he tried 45 laps to get.
Dale Earnhardt used to tell me I can pass him on pit road a lot easier than I can on the racetrack.
Adam, I want to know how Jamie McMurray knew that Kyle Larson was going to be up front in this race, because he told you he picked him early.
Yeah, he picked him. I think yesterday he told me he liked the 42 of Kyle Larson. We'll see if he can stay out there. Chooses the inside lane on the restart as we're underway in our second stage of the afternoon.
Nice restart by Kyle Busch. Look, he's all over Larson, giving those two cars the run to clear air.
Yeah, you saw Larson pull down just a little bit. He could feel the 18 pushing him, and I think he was a little bit nervous about Kyle maybe ducking inside of him, but the 18 stuck with him, and it worked out great because now they're first and second single file.
And keep an eye on series regulars, Justin Allgaier, Darrell Wallace Jr., Matt Tiff. They're all right up there in the mix as we get this restart. There's Allgaier in that bright orange number 7, looking for a spot underneath Brad Keselowski.
And look at Bubba Wallace. We talked about maybe a little bit of adjustment to that right front fender, and he could bring that number 6 car alive, and it's happening.
I know Kyle Busch led 48 laps in this thing, was really strong early, and Larson is good. We've established that. But there appears to be a lot of parity in this race today.
Yeah, and it's all through the pack, too, Adam. I mean, we've seen battles in the top 5, top 10, and all the way back trying to stay on the lead lap.
Daniel Hemrick racing side by side with sophomore driver Brennan Poole.
Good move by Poole. Look at that 3 wide. These restarts, they drive me crazy, make me nervous, because these guys are on new tires, but there's still a lot of air that's moving around and affecting the way they handle.
You know, I had this conversation actually this week with a guy that was over at my house working some construction, and we started talking about how crazy the restarts are now. And I'm like, when I first started racing, they were single file, and if we went back to that now, how boring would that be, right? It's so exciting to get to see a double file restart every time.
Well, Brendan Gaughan would have liked to have had a single file restart right there.
Right. Yeah.
He definitely wasn't bored. He was sideways in that 62 car.
He's sliding back now. 3, 4, 5 cars driving around the 62.
Yeah, he is not liking his set of sticker tires right here. He's thinking that maybe the adjustments went the wrong way.
Also want to pay off free pass as we got that caution at the end of stage 1 was Blake Cook. He's 23rd. So 23 drivers on the lead lap as once again we ride with Brennan Poole. He's 12th.
Well, he started 11th and fell back, but has stabilized and now trying to challenge his way back into the top 10. So good car for the 48.
Yeah, I think Brennan does a great job. When I watch him obviously closer than I do others because he's on our team. but Brennan knows he never gets in trouble. I feel like he does a really good job of pushing the car when he needs to, and if he gets in trouble, or if the car's not there, he'll slow down and not tear anything up. So he does a good job, and he knows when to go and when not to.
Matt, what's wrong with Brendan Gaughan?
He'd like to have a lot more go right now. The 62, early in the race, he came on the radio and he told Shane Wilson that there's a vibration at low RPMs, and then didn't make much more comments about it. And now he's saying it's almost like a plug wire issue on the 62. A crew member has gone back to the hauler, and he has more parts, so that when the 62 does hit pit road, they can look at see exactly what's wrong. Now he says definitely a plug wire.
Brendan Gaughan entered the weekend 4th in points, 8 behind leader Elliott Sadler. Great start to the season for him, but unfortunately issues at his home track.
Hasn't been a good Saturday for Brendan. Trouble in inspection earlier.
Kyle Larson took over the lead in exchange of pit stops following stage 1. He's led the last 11 circuits. Kyle Busch behind him.
Where did it look like Larson had us there, Tony? Was it that entry tight spot that I had?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I said, he was tracking you. When he would track you, they would straight line, like exited 2. Like I said, from the 5/8 point, they kind of pulled down a little bit, and they could get a little head of steam going. It sort of evened up then, center or late exit.
Yeah, I don't have any pull down. There's nothing left to pull down with, so it's just rim rides because it's where she wants to go.
Well, rim riding means he's not able to put the wheel input into it. Would you say he can't lean on that right rear because it wants to get loose?
Yeah, I think what I interpreted there is that as he's running the top, the 42 was able to turn down just a little bit more than he could in the middle of the corner, and he was driving off a little bit straighter. And I think Kyle Busch is just saying, look, man, with the speed that I'm carrying, the front just isn't grabbing hard enough.
Kyle Busch won the opening stage in Las Vegas by 6/100ths of a second. Kyle Larson grabbed the lead on pit road, and he's out front with 29 laps to go in stage 2. Las Vegas, and now we take a look at how Brendan Gaughan's spotter, Stevie Reeves, helped him worry less with the Liberty Mutual Insurance spotter coverage.
Outside, both sides, both sides, both sides. Clear low, one outside. Clear high, clear high. All clear. Little run coming inside. 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 Still there. Inside barely. Clear, clear.
Both sides is not good, right, Jamie? That's not what you want to hear.
That's the hard, like you just can't spot for a car that has an issue like that. You just, and then you're the driver, you know they're on both sides. You're just trying to hold it straight.
He was worrying less, but he was still in fact worried inside the car.
That is right.
And he did come down pit road. Have they found anything, Matt?
Quick work going on the 62 of Brendan Gaughan. Timmy Petty, son of NASCAR Hall of Famer Maurice Petty, the head engine tuner on this 62. He is working feverishly along with 2 other gentlemen. They're changing the carburetor. Brendan thought it was something either with the linkage or butterflies. That's what they diagnosed. So Timmy ran back to the hauler, got a backup carburetor, getting ready to put the air cleaner back on here in just a moment, but lost a lot of laps. Doesn't look like he'll add another win here at Vegas today.
And the new rules for NASCAR, Matt, if you crash and go to the garage, you're done. But if it's mechanical, you go to the garage, fix the problem, and return. That's the intent for Brendan Gaughan. Kyle Larson leading by 3 seconds now in front of Joey Logano, who's gotten around Kyle Busch for that runner-up spot. Busch is 3rd, Keselowski 4th, and Justin Allgaier 5th. 20 laps to go, stage number 2 at Las Vegas, and we knew he was good, almost got the lead under green. Once he was able to grab the top spot on pit road, Larson, electric.
Yeah, he's obviously got maybe the best car. I've been watching the times, though, and oh, we got trouble.
That's Matt Tifft.
Up there, guys, are coming under you. Roll that lane.
3rd caution of the day.
I think that's going to be fixable. Yeah, I think he got really lucky right there to spin out and not have any more damage than what he has.
He was scored in the 10th position.
Well, I say that. It's interesting now because we can't add panels. So looking at that.
Jump down from under me. You're getting freer and freer, and it just snapped.
Yeah, last year I think that would have, you could have fixed that. It's going to be a little bit harder. Like, they're going to fix it, and he's going to be able to continue, but it's going to be hard to drive.
Check out here. Oh,
man, that got loose pretty early on him.
He's really lucky not to hit the wall any harder, Jamie.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's really lucky.
When you think about that right rear quarter panel, Adam, your goal would be for it to be pushed out.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, in the car, he's like, I don't even think I hit. And he's in his mind, he's thinking, I think it's going to be okay. And he's going to get on pit road, and they're going to be like,
We know he's going to pit to fix damage. What about everybody else, Larry Mack?
Yeah, this is one of those things that makes the stages interesting with strategy, because we have 19 laps on the tires. Right now, there's 19 laps to the end of stage 2. I think we're going to see a mixed bag of drivers that comes to pit road and ones that stays out. If you're outside the top 10, come on and get tires now and fix your race car. Make your race car better.
There are a few coming down. Austin Dillon pulled in off of turn 4. So did the 33 of Brandon Jones, 98 of Eric Almirola. Daniel Hemrick also making a stop under caution.
This is going to be fun when we go back racing.
So some on old tires, some on new tires. We're going to have a big old mess, and we'll have a front row seat for it when we come back on FS1. Vegas Motor Speedway, and safe to say we will have plenty to talk about. Early on, it was about Kyle Busch. Since that opening stage ended, it's been all about your teammate, Kyle Larson. What do we expect here with 15 laps or so to go before we get another caution?
A crazy restart, and then a mixed bag of strategy. Jamie and I were just discussing, what do you do if you took tires here? Do you get another set at the end of the stage, or do you stay out on the older tires? It's a risk. It's a gamble. It's going to be fun for us to watch.
Front row on the restart, Larson, Joey Logano. What do you anticipate?
Well, I don't know. I think that Joey Logano's car is almost as good as Kyle's right now, and he's got his teammate behind him who I assume will stick with him, and I think it's going to be interesting turns 1 and 2.
Let me tell you, one of the best things ever is to be up here during a commercial break and hear two drivers talking strategy and who should do what in regard to fuel and tires.
I wanted to bring in America's crew chief, Larry McReynolds, and sort this out for us, but we feel like that this restart is going to be special. At the top of the show, we talked about the 2 Kyles and the 2 Penske cars. They're stacked up at the front.
There they are, right? Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
The guy that brought out the caution, Matt Tifft, he stayed on the lead lap. Right now, we got 23 cars on the lead lap. Last of those, Spencer Gallagher, who got the free pass under this, our 3rd caution. Getting tires, Austin Dillon first off pit road. He will restart in the 17th position. So the top 16, when we get the green flag on those older tires, they got about 20 laps on them. And we are closing on the end of stage 2. Kyle Larson inside, Joey Logano outside. We're green once again.
Yeah, the 22 wasn't able to hang with Joey. It didn't look like he timed the restart out as good as the 18 did. It's going to clear the 18 though on the outside right here. The big run from Brad.
And look who's sneaking in there behind Brad. That's Bubba Wallace in that purple car.
You just can't say enough about the way he has battled through some tough times. Tenacious, the word I would use to describe Darrell Wallace Jr. the last couple of weeks.
You know, sometimes when you're sick, you're mean. You know, you want to get up on the wheel and prove to people how tough you are. Bubba's driving tough right now.
You ever drive angry, Jamie?
Well, here's what I will say about being sick. I feel like I've had some of my best races when I was sick, and I don't know. I can't explain that. I don't know if it's because you're just so focused on what's going on. But I've been in the infield care center at this track, getting an IV, and I think I ran 3rd or 4th that day. But Bubba's doing a great job. He's fun to watch. He's super aggressive, and he typically can make that outside work and rim ride like we talked about earlier. So he's doing a great job today.
Said that Matt Tifft stayed on the lead lap. He did officially go under the crash clock, but is back up to speed, scored in the 17th position. You know what we should do? We should do a very Las Vegas thing. What do you say we crank it up? caution out for the 4th time today. This time it's the guy from Las Vegas, Brendan Gaughan, who got it sideways off of turn 2.
Brendan wants to go home. He's not having a good day.
He is home.
She got a carburetor, now she needs a set of tires.
Just the scuff of the right side, front end marble, just barely tap right side, and then flat spotted all 4.
You know, I'll tell you something. Tomorrow, those stages are going to be different because we have so many more sets of tires. I think if you see one of them get broken half, that the leaders might not pit, but I think sooner, maybe 8th or 10th back, we'll all pit. And that's really going to shake things up.
And you got to appreciate what Austin Dillon's done. He's coming from 17th on the restart. You can see Brendan Gaughan up in the high marbles. Little contact there on the right rear. But Dillon's charged up to 11th, so the tires are worth a lot.
Hey, his teammate, Daniel Hemrick, the rookie, also pitted at lap 72, and he's 10th. So while one RCR driver in Brendan Gaughan, you see here, who brought out the 4th caution, not feeling good. There are a couple of drivers out of the RCR camp that are. And now, Larry, 10 laps to go in the stage. Caution is out. What do you do here?
Yeah, Adam, we're probably going to go back racing about 6 or 7 laps before the end of stage 2. If I'm Brennan Poole, Elliott Sadler, some of those guys, come on and get those tires now. You're not going to get to the top 10 with the older tires.
And you'll stay out at the end of the stage, establish some track position.
Kyle Larson and the leaders are pitting, Jamie, because they know they're going to stay out after this stop.
Yeah, right. And the 2 car is just loving the way that that caution fell. Just perfect for him.
What's up, Jamie?
And Kyle Larson coming in for service. His 2nd set of sticker tires going on. He said the car was better this run to start. Really good, getting a little bit looser as they run. They work on the left side. It's a 4-tire stop. No changes, Chris.
Joey Logano also happy with his car, saying we're making it progressively better. Still just a little bit tight. Also, the team just finishing up that stop down here. Overall, looks like the Penske car is strong today.
Drivers that stayed out: Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Justin Allgaier, Darrell Wallace Jr., and Ryan Reed. None of those drivers have pitted since the end of our last stage. Daniel Hemrick, the first on those newer tires, he pitted at lap 72.
Definitely looking forward to today. Guys, I'm fine. I'll there with you guys in victory lane. Where did it look like Larson had us there, Tony? Was it that entry tight spot that I had? Yeah, a little bit. Jumped down from under me. He was getting freer and freer and just snapped.
When we get the green flag, we're going to have 6 laps to go in our 2nd stage. The guy that won stage 1 will restart 2nd on the outside. That's Kyle Busch. Brad Keselowski going green from the inside. He's the control car. But look behind him. A bunch of series regulars in line to get some major points as we wrap up this 2nd stage.
And I think one of them, at least, Daniel Hemrick, is thinking win the stage. I think he thinks he can get there.
He's got like 20 lap fresher tires. Hemrick restarting from 6th outside of row 3. Kyle Larson gave up the lead and pitted. He will restart in the 14th position.
This is just what NASCAR was hoping for with stage racing. Let's mix up the field.
Yeah, they've definitely shaken it up here. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out in 50 more laps.
By the way, free pass went to Michael Annette. He's back in 24th for the restart. There goes Keselowski jumping out front. And Allgaier making up some ground in that inside lane. Darrell Wallace Jr. not afraid, and a couple of them thinking about 3 wide as we head over to turn 3.
And the 42 with his new tires is on the outside, just flying around the top of the track right now.
He lives for moments like this.
I wondered if he might just take it easy to the end of the stage, knowing that he's going to have those new tires.
It doesn't appear that way.
That's not the case at all.
5 to go, and he may be leading at the end of the stage. I mean, that 42 car is wound up and fast.
He lost a little bit of his momentum there. Someone pulled up in the high lane, and he didn't really have anywhere to go. But yeah, the first 2 corners are pretty fun to watch right there.
Suarez in the green and white Interstate Batteries car, that 20. That bright yellow machine, 33 of Brandon Jones. Daniel Hemrick, he's got some fresh tires, but look at that. Nothing to do with the kid that just pitted, Kyle Larson.
Look at that wide.
And that is a mess of cars. Yeah, look at that.
Are they going to make it?
4 wide? No way. Keselowski still out front. Not a huge lead over Kyle Busch, who has gained the 2nd position. And Busch moving up the track, working that high lane. We're going to see 3 laps to go in the stage this time by. And Larson now 4th, and he's got open racetrack in front of him. Does he have enough time to get up there with those tires?
I don't see him closing all the way in on the leaders, but wow, it was fun to watch him scramble through the field.
Yeah, and it's definitely shaking it up. It's so interesting in this series because you have some guys that are racing just for the win, but then we had all the Xfinity regulars that stayed out to try to get those points. So that was really fun to watch.
Larson 14th to 4th in 3 laps, and he might not be done yet.
It's going to be really interesting to see how fast the 42 car is on. I know it's only going to be 6 or 7 laps he's going to have on his tires, but it's going to be interesting to see if he's still the dominant car when Brad and Kyle Busch have brand new tires and where they're going to line up at.
You know who's doing a great job when it comes to points today? Justin Allgaier, 5th in the opening stage, 3rd right here. Entered the day 26th in the standings, but he is making up the ground in the first 2 stages of the afternoon at Las Vegas.
We talked to crew chief Jason Burdett, and he said, we just want a solid day. They're getting more than a solid day. This is a great day for Allgaier.
Yeah, this has been a really good track for Justin over the past few years. He's done an amazing job at this track.
Final lap, stage 2. Opening stage went to Kyle Busch, who barely beat Kyle Larson. This time around, it's going to be all about Brad Keselowski. Won this race at the Cup level a year ago. Starts on the pole tomorrow. Stage 2 victory. Kyle Busch behind him. Justin Allgaier 3rd. And Kyle Larson able to get back to 4th. Daniel Hemrick.
Put it out. Stage 2 completion.
Hemrick inside the top 5, picking up some valuable points. The rest of the top 10 at the end of stage 2. Joey Logano, Austin Dillon, Matt Tifft, who had that spin, kissed the wall. He finished 8th, Suarez 9th, and Darrell Wallace Jr., your final point score inside the top 10. Going to be 110 laps to go when we return. Final stage on the way, Brad Keselowski leading. Two of our 3 stages complete for the NASCAR Xfinity Series here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Just over 100 laps to go to the checkered flag. Justin Allgaier having a great day when it comes to points. Finished 3rd in stage 2, gets 8 points for his effort. Nice job by Daniel Hemrick. Bubba Wallace also getting some things done, along with Matt Tifft.
Well, we're going to see some varying strategies again here. Be interesting to see what these top teams do.
A lot of unbalance when it comes to tire strategy. Matt, another set of takers on pit road.
Due to the rough start to the year, that's why Justin Allgaier did not pit under the previous caution, trying to score those stage points. He said after each heat cycle, the car just got tighter and tighter. Air pressure changed. Jamie?
Darrell Wallace worked his way up to 5th, but he got swallowed up by newer tires. He's only pitted once, so this time they're going to make some adjustments. Air pressure track bar, a 4 tire stop, and a water for the driver, Chris.
Brad Keselowski getting his 2nd stage win this year. Overall, pretty happy with his race car, but a lot like last week, saying the car a little too tight in the center, having to wait to go back to the throttle. Kyle Busch just looking for a smooth stop this time, and I think he got it there. That last stop, crew member slipped coming around the left rear, lost 2 spots.
A number of cars came down pit road. 9 elected to stay out. Kyle Larson +3, able to win the battle off his pit crew, who will work for him again tomorrow, doing an outstanding job. Same for Daniel Hemrick, +3 in that 21 machine.
What a great day it's been for Justin Allgaier. Let's see if we can get a word with him. Hey, Justin, it's Michael up in the FS1 booth. You copy?
What'd you say, Jason?
So is the windshield going to be okay?
Yeah, I can manage it.
Let's try that again. I think I walked on.
I believe you did.
Jason Burdett. Hey, Justin, it's Michael up in the FS1 booth. Do you copy?
Yeah, Michael, loud and clear, buddy.
Wow, what a great day. Great stage racing, good performance in that 7. I know that's got to be refreshing for your team. It's been a tough start.
Well, it's definitely been a tough start to 2017, but there's no give up in this 7 crew, and really proud of the work that they put in through practice yesterday. We didn't get a lot of practice, so they put a lot of effort in, and this brand fresh agriculture Chevy is really good. So just looking forward to finishing it off. You know, we got 2 good stages there, and we got to do our best to make sure that we make it to the checkered flag without any incident. That's something we've struggled with these first 2, so we do that, and we'll be in great shape.
Do you think you got the speed in the car to win the race, or the Kyles and the Penske cars too tough?
Well, they're definitely tough, but Jason Burnett and the boys down there have done a great job making adjustments on this car all day. And, you know, Camaros are fast, man, and Larson's obviously got a great car out there in front. So if we can't win it, we'd love to see another Camaro get out there and get the victory lane. But I think we got at least a shot to put some pressure on them and make sure that we're there at the end. And if they mess up, we can take advantage of it and, you know, play the game how we need to.
Well, have fun. We've enjoyed watching you. Go get you one.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
So I don't know if you guys heard, but right when Michael was trying to talk to Justin, the crew chief said, is your windshield going to be okay? And if they can zoom in right there, you're going to see that when they pulled the tear off tore. So most of his windshield is clear. However, the one little section right here at the bottom of the A post is the old tear off, and it's really dirty. Even though we have this massive windshield, you look out of such a small section of the windshield that's going to bother him, but he said he was going to be okay.
He's having a great day, and I'm glad, because he's on NASCAR Race Hub, 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. Joey Logano on as well, and Logano leads right now in Vegas. Look out.
Hang on.
Aerial coverage here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway provided by Goodyear. Everything they learn making tires for the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what rolls into yours. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. And it's all about UFC tonight on FS1. It's going to be a huge fight as two of the biggest names take on each other in one of the biggest fights of their career. Don't miss the UFC Fight Night tonight at 7 Eastern on FS1. Larry McReynolds, we are getting ready to start stage 3, the final stage. Some guys came down pit road, some didn't. This is what Daniel Suarez heard.
Yeah, we are staying out, Daniel. We are staying out. Your guys have went and got hot dogs and ice cream. They are done for now. So far, bud.
I wonder if you could get some hot dogs in this place.
Well, but I'm not surprised at that strategy, because Daniel Suarez, just like several others, had just been on pit road 6 laps prior. A couple of guys that surprised me is Kyle Larson and Elliott Sadler. They now only have 1 set of tires left in the pits. Maybe Jamie Little can tell us what their thinking is.
Well, Mike Shiplett took tires or fuel only, no tires that stop. Are you concerned at all where you guys sit with 9 drivers ahead of you?
No, the Capital One Chevrolet will be fine. Kyle's doing a real good job. You know, just the way this stage racing is playing out, there's some stuff to learn, how everyone's going to play them. We felt that everyone would have played it a little differently right there, but it didn't happen. So we'll be all right here. Everybody's got to pit one more time. We've got 2 more sets of tires left in the box, so we'll be good to go here at the end.
All right, Shannon, Mike told me he was hoping more guys would come with him. Now they'll just have to fight their way for track position.
Thanks, Jamie. And as we send it back up to Adam, you know, so many questions about how this stage racing would affect the races. I think we have figured that question out.
A lot of imbalance when you talk about the tires out front. Everybody should have 2 sets remaining now as we get set to go green once again. A reminder, the 2017 Toyota Camry XSE leading the field, but no more. Pace car on pit road. Joey Logano, Daniel Suarez out front.
Big push by Ty Dillon. Dillon right up to the back bumper of Logano.
And Logano took the outside lane. Surprise at all? First time we've seen that today.
I've just seen it be about even. I guess it just depends on who lines up behind you. Jamie, do you consider that when you do a restart?
Well, I mean, maybe he's just feeling that out. I mean, it seems like the bottom's been the place to be, but it might have also been who was lined up behind him. It might have been more comfortable. Ooh, the 20 car is really loose on the inside of the 3 right there.
And look who's behind him. On board with William Byron. Haven't talked about the rookie all day unless he's been outside the top 15. Nothing wrong anymore, I guess. Here he is.
How? How has he done that? That car was struggling back in the back half of the top 20, and now he finds himself running in the top 5. This kid's got a lot of talent. Obviously works really well with his crew getting adjustments.
Yeah, William does a great job. I've actually hung out with him a little bit at the local RC car track in Mooresville, and he's just a great guy. I mean, you would never know his age based on his maturity level. He just does a really good job.
And you wouldn't know by talking to him that he's okay with running about 190 miles an hour down into a corner side by side and bouncing around 3 wide even.
Kyle Busch, not bad on the restart. Here he comes to the inside in the 18. Momentum in the outside lane. for the 9 of William Byron, and don't look now, but the 42 has resurfaced. We heard from Mike Shiplett. He got fuel only and now rallying to the front after being behind the 8 ball a bit on track position.
Yeah, the 20 car looks pretty evil right now. He's obviously really loose and just kind of hanging on. He's hoping they've come back from the hot dog break, I think, at this point, and maybe we'll work on that thing.
It might be evil, but he's not giving up.
Yeah,
He's on the inside of William Byron trying to grab that spot back. He's going to complete the pass, so I don't think Daniel was too impressed with the team going to get a hot dog. He said, okay, that's fine, whatever.
I don't think so.
All right, 99 laps to go. Stage 1 today to Kyle Busch. Stage 2 to Brad Keselowski. And watch the 18 of Busch here on the restart. Not afraid. That's 4 wide into turn 1.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, when you get to someone's right rear, like when the 7 car, about the time the spotter car 7, the 7, let me get that out real quick, okay?
I know what you mean.
About the time the spotter, the 7 set outside, Justin knew he was there, and you're just kind of helpless and have to let the guy go.
That was aggressive, 3 wide still. We've seen this kind of racing all day long here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, and what's great about this is you said you love the stage racing, Jamie.
Yeah, that's really split this up.
Yeah, everybody's been on a little bit of a different strategy. So everybody's got a little bit different tire situation. And that's why you see the comers and goers, and once again, 3 wide. This is spectacular.
It's really fun for us to watch, and I know that it's really frustrating for a few of them that are out there right now.
But the fans are loving it. You can see 3 wide. Looks like they're racing at Talladega.
This is for second left of your screen. Kyle Busch continuing his rally since the restart.
And right behind Dylan comes the 42, Kyle Larson. He's going to challenge for that 3rd spot.
Next Saturday afternoon, the fun continues. We're in the desert, Phoenix Raceway, live on Fox. 3:30 Eastern Time. Kevin Harvick, the king of the desert, will be with Michael and me in the booth. We look forward to that. Matt Tifft in the 19 going up the middle to grab a position.
I tell you what, the car is better than I thought it was going to be after the getting into the wall. The team's done a really nice job of getting that fixed, and he's doing a great job of hanging on to that.
I've been impressed with Tifft. He had brain surgery a year ago and came back and was really competitive in his car. And now we see with some reps how much he's getting better and better each week. What a great story this is.
Brad Keselowski, one of those drivers trapped in the traffic. He came down pit road at the end of stage 2, so he lost a lot of track position. He's led 12 laps today, but the guy that won here a handful of years ago and won the Cup race here last year, 16th, and this has got to be a little bit frustrating, I would guess.
Yeah, he's kind of trapped in traffic right now, and the strategy just did not work into his favor. I didn't see him on the restart, but I'm assuming he didn't have a very good restart either, and that's one of the things that's got the 18 where he is. He had an amazing restart.
You got to give a shout out to Spencer Gallagher, Las Vegas native. Was back in the back early, but he's battled his way up into a top 15 running position, running along with Eric Almirola there.
Yeah, Gallagher, a guy that was a lap down earlier in the race, had to take the free pass. Anytime you can find yourself in that position and come back to be in the top 15, it's got to make you feel good. And speaking of feeling good, this is as nice a job as we've seen out of the 16 of Ryan Reed on an intermediate track in a while. Won at Daytona, struggled at Atlanta, but here he is in the top 10. And behind him, Rookie of the Year contender Cole Custer. Not bad for him in 9th, Jamie.
What a day it has been as well. He started this race 20th, and early on he had radio issues. The team kept talking to him, but he couldn't respond to them, so they told him, use hand signals to tell us what your car is doing. So he tapped the roof to say that he was loose. So when he came in, they made adjustments, and they gave him a radio. And the 6 is all over him. 22 on pit road, guys.
Unscheduled pit stop for Brad Keselowski. 92 laps remaining. We talked about how they had lost all that track position. Going to lose some more right here. Chris, what's happening?
Keselowski trying to get that car back in victory lane. Doesn't look like it's going to happen today. He said he had a loose wheel. Checked in with the team, asked, hey, did you guys see anything? Review the tape, because they got so many cameras down here, but the team said they couldn't see anything. He said, I think it's a left rear. I've got to come back in.
Brad and that 22 team have not won since November 2015 at Texas Motor Speedway. Hard to believe. Penske did win a couple of times last year. 12th car, Joey Logano, and right now Logano is out front. Kyle Busch is second, and this for third. Ty Dillon, the 42 of Kyle Larson. What's your read on Larson right now? He was coming through the field pretty quickly. Seems to have stabilized his progress a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's just waiting to log some laps here. I think his car is really good on the long run. The one thing that's hurting Kyle right now is that 3 car is running the line that he wants to run. The 3 car is running just a little bit higher, and that's really where Kyle was making his most time up earlier today.
Brendan Poole is going to pull inside of Spencer Gallagher down the back.
You know, I just wonder if there's more to the story on the 22's loose wheel. I feel like on Sunday that the 22 has had a lot of loose wheels at the start of the race, and I don't remember if Brad has, but it's interesting. Like, I wonder if they're pushing the limits of something that is causing that.
Well, we know what Brad recovered from last week in Atlanta,
right?
And can he do it again today? I don't know, but there's definitely been issues there.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead, Jamie.
Well, I mean, I guess you know, looking at that now, it was on the left rear, which typically means that maybe the jack got dropped too soon, right? Like the guy was still trying to get the lug nuts on, and I would never want to be on a pit crew, and I watch how that all goes down, how they know when to drop the jack, everything that's happening there, it happens really fast. So maybe it was just, you know, one of those things this time.
Keeping in mind, though, when he had the lug nut problem last week at Atlanta on Sunday, he was in the race lead. Here, he had lost that track position in the pit exchange. He's 31st in the last car, 1 lap down. He's going to need something big to happen if he's going to get back in the game here.
Well, you know, that explains, the loose wheel explains why he wasn't advancing his position on the restart either. He's out there and it's shaking so bad that the car's not handling as well, and that explains a lot to me there.
We've had 5 cautions today. 87 laps to go. We're underway in the final stage in Sin City. Logano, Kyle Busch, Ty Dillon, Kyle Larson, Daniel Suarez, your top 5. Bittersweet day for Roger Penske. He's got one of his cars out front. That's Joey Logano with 81 laps to go. His other, Brad Keselowski, is 27th, 1 lap down, and here's the reason why. Last pit stop, they had a problem.
Definitely better. Thank you. Sorry about that. Was it a loose one? Talk to me, Greg. What happened here? Left rear, Brad. Left rear was loose. Copy that. Was it bad? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I said their last pit stop. It was actually 2 stops ago when they had the lug nut issue. He returned to pit road at lap 108, and that's why he's a lap down right now.
You could see when he came back in and they were changing tires that the guy on the left rear was taking a lot of time to make sure that the lug nuts got pulled up tight against the wheel. Once you have a loose wheel and it messes up the studs, it's hard to keep the wheels tight. So they did a really nice job there of taking a little extra time to make sure they got it on tight.
Brad's trying to race his way back into contention. Adam, he's trying to get to the lucky dog position. Rouse Chastain in 25th currently is the first guy a lap down, so Brad's got some ground to make up.
Tell you what, though, that car, since he put those tires on, has been really fast. Kyle Busch is second right now. He's had a good afternoon, a second behind Joey Logano. What do you say, Chris?
Yeah, Kyle Busch doing everything he can to try and chase down that 12 car. A couple laps ago, he did say, I got into the wall, guys. I killed the car. Team came to life, got up on the wall, expected him to come to pit lane, but he kept it out of the racetrack and said, actually, it doesn't feel that bad. And the team has said, hey, doesn't look like you get a tire rub. Keep it out there. You still got some good times.
William Byron has slipped back from the top 5 position he was in, guys, in 10th. That car just isn't running or handling the way he needs it to here in Vegas. You see him there racing along with Dillon.
Austin Dillon has not had the weekend I would have expected. They just didn't have any speed yesterday in practice. Better in qualifying, but he won this race a couple of years ago and led over 180 laps. Not been quite as good so far here today. Austin Dillon is 11th. Let's go down to Jamie.
Now, William Byron, you guys talked about him. He started 18th, and he's been very patient today. Started out just as free as he could handle it. The car was so loose he couldn't get a handle on it, but they made changes on those 2 stops. He said the balance is better. It's the best it's been today. His teammate, though, Elliott Sadler, not so much. He's gotten worse as the day's gone on. Matt?
Impressive composure shown by Matt Tifft in the 19. Brought out the caution earlier in the event, rebounded from that. The car was a little bit free, chassis adjustment. It's corrected that, but one adjustment that they cannot correct until after the race. Matt says he has a blind spot on his headrest, telling spotter Chris Lambert, who's also Denny Hamlin's spotter, when they get right on the outside of me, you need to give me extra info so I know exactly where they are, because I just cannot see.
Tift is, though, working on his best run of the season, consistently inside the top 10. He's 8th right now. And you think about the series regulars that have come to play. We mentioned it a couple of times. Justin Allgaier scoring a lot of points. He's back up in the top 5 right now. And right in front of Darrell Wallace Jr. Popped the wall early at one point, was back in the 18th position, but that 6 car also showing a lot of speed. Allgaier looking for 4th here.
Yeah, it's a good car he's got today. You can see anytime you can work to the bottom of the racetrack like that, Adam, and make a pass, complete it, it just shows you've got something special under you.
74 laps to go, and most everybody, I believe, still has 2 sets of tires. How are you managing the final portion of this race, Larry?
Yeah, this is going to get interesting should we stay green, because when I look at the drivers that's not pitted since lap 81, they stayed out at the end of stage 2, which would be Joey Logano, Daniel Suarez, and Ty Dillon. They're going to have to pit in about the next 10 laps and still could not make it to the end. But all of the drivers that pitted on the last caution, like Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Justin Allgaier, Darrell Wallace Jr., they're going to be able to run about 10 or 12 laps further than the others, and that should get them to the end should we stay green. So all of a sudden, the strategy we saw at the end of stage 2 is going to make a difference, it looks like.
You know who could work himself into a pretty good position if it stays green? Brad Keselowski, because things are starting to cycle through. He won't have to pit for a while, Michael. Now, he won't be able to stop forever on these tires, but he's in the game should it stay green and a caution come at the right time.
The last time by, Adam, he was the fastest car on the racetrack. So that means he's got a really good car, but he's so far behind. Now he's not in the free pass position anymore. The leader, Joey Logano, is starting to catch the back of the pack and putting other guys a lap down. So it's going to be a tall order to get there.
Last 8 races here. 72 pit road speeding penalties, and we've added some segments this year since we came last year. Where does this place rate getting onto pit road, Jamie?
So one of the hardest tracks to get onto pit road, and I don't know why it you know, if you have an aerial view of the track, it doesn't look a lot different, but it just seems like pit road is a long ways around the corner and you have a lot of speed, and when I looked at the pit road map with the added segments we have here, that first segment is super short, and so is the last one. I think that's where we're going to see the problems today.
It's where drivers will make the turn, coming off of turn 4, down pit road.
Yeah, and this stop is the money stop. We saw what the final stop, how it changed the complexion of the Atlanta race last Sunday, and you make a mistake here, it's too late to make it up.
I'd say one thing that I see that I really like, and it's something that everyone in the motorhome is watching right now is looking at, is how black the racetrack is getting. There's a lot of rubber being laid down, and that's something that we have asked Goodyear for, is a tire that starts off fast, has a lot of fall off, and also lays a lot of rubber down. And when I see some of these shots on TV, it's literally black from the bottom to the top, and I see guys continuing, like the 23 cars right against the wall in 1 and 2, continuing to run that line up higher, and that's just going to be great for tomorrow.
He's making ground up there too.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job.
Right next to the wall, higher than we've seen anyone, and he's making some good time up there.
Joey Logano leading this thing. Lap 81 is the last time that he came down pit road. What's their thought process here on strategy, Chris?
Well, Adam just checked with his crew chief, Brian Wilson. He said we could go probably another 15 to 20 laps on this run, which would put us in a window to make it on one more stop here. So this team feeling confident that when they come, that'll be their last time.
We've had a lot of green flag laps since lap 81. They wouldn't be able to do it on one more stop. We've had enough caution laps that opens the door for them to get into their window. That's good news. 68 laps remaining in Vegas.
My favorite thing to do in Vegas away from the track is I like to go up the Red Rock Canyon. Nevada and Las Vegas is home to some of the most beautiful scenery in the Southwest.
I like the Bellagio, the water show, and all the cool stuff to see.
I'm a big fan of doing a little bit of gambling while I'm out here. Outside of that, some really nice golf courses, so I like to go swing some sticks when I can, try to separate myself before we get back to the racetrack.
And Daniel Hemrick, even though he's a rookie, 26 years old, so he's fine to head into the casinos and it's perfectly legal.
Kenny Wallace found some guys that weren't.
See Spencer Gallagher coming down pit road. Would be a scheduled green flag pit stop, I anticipate, with 62 to go. Starting to get close to that window where these drivers have to come in, because it was over 50 laps ago when a lot of these guys made their last pit stop.
The lead's really tightening up, Adam. Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson are both closing down. on Logano as green flag pit stops begin.
Darrell Wallace Jr. was able to get around Justin Allgaier, the 6 car, now up in 4th. Think we'll have any speeders here, Jamie?
I don't know. It's a tough pit road to get on, and like I say, I think in that first or last segment, if somebody gets caught, that's where it will be. NASCAR let us run pit road and show us the segment times, so everyone had a pretty good idea of what they had. It just depends on how bad the guys want to push it.
Pit stop's underway, Chris.
Daniel Suarez, crew chief, told me earlier today our fuel window is 60 laps, so right on that edge by coming now. Suarez saying that car just a little bit loose late in the run.
Yeah, he'd slip back outside the top 5. Talking about Daniel Suarez. Brandon Jones is in, Matt.
He slid it to a stop, clean windshield for the rest of the run to the finish. Air pressure change on the 33. His car was swinging back from being tight to being free here on the 33. To Jamie.
And William Byron saying to his team he needs to hug that yellow line for any grip. It's the only place his car likes it to get the grip. 4 tire stop here. Air pressure adjustment and a chassis adjustment has already been done. Back to you, Matt.
And the 16 of Ryan Reed is in. You can see they've already serviced the right side of the race car. Now putting fuel in. His car had been free. It really got much more free near the end of this run. Air pressure change in the 16.
These are scheduled green flag stops, but they're happening with 58 to go. That's the outer edge of the fuel window. This is going to be really interesting for the stretch run. Here's Kyle Busch, Chris.
Yeah, we can see a little bit of that damage on the right side of the car. That was what Kyle Busch was talking about earlier. Coming a little bit off schedule here. They were going to wait until the 12th car came in, coming in early now. Kyle Busch still saying his car pretty good. A little bit loose late in the run, and now we can see the 12th car leader, Joey Logano, coming down pit lane, having a good run here. 55 to go, well within that fuel window. Joey Logano very happy with his race car today, not expecting any changes on this stop.
So Logano going to make his pit stop with 57 to go. And Chris had reported earlier that once they make this stop, they'll be good to go to the end on fuel. Drew Herring is in. Dakota Armstrong making a stop. So is Justin Allgaier. Kyle Larson coming down the pit lane in that 42. Here he is, Jamie.
And he'll be happy to get some fresh tires, sticker tires. Last time he took fuel only. He started off a little too loose. Now he got neutral as the run went on. This has been a great race car for Kyle Larson all day long. 4 tire stop here and fuel, no changes.
A few stalls behind Kyle Larson. Darrell Wallace Jr. giving up a position inside the top 5 to get his service.
He was really strong on the long run there, Adam. His car really took off. He was able to drive around Allgaier and was keeping pace with our 3 leaders.
Looking at Keselowski, 11th right now, has made it back onto the tail end of the lead lap. He needs a caution right here, you know it? J.J. Yaley yet to pit. Last time he came down, lap 93, he scored as the race leader. Michael Annett scored in 2nd. And Justin Allgaier 11th. This thing cycled through, but he had a bit of an issue when he made his green flag stop. What do you see here, Jamie?
He just slid a little bit long. The stalls here are a little bit slick. I saw a lot of guys practice getting in and out of their stalls. You know, you're just trying to get the most you can, and you don't really know what happened prior to him coming into the screen there. It could have wheel hopped, is why he couldn't get on the brakes, but slid and had to back up, and it's 3 or 4 seconds to do that.
See some cars here going around Brad Keselowski on his older tires. J.J. Yaley had stayed out. He's got a good run going today, Adam. He's got a fast car, and he stayed out and got the lead, Matt.
And J.J. Yaley, like you mentioned, great run by that 14 car. New sponsors this year. They've added some sponsors, kept some from last year. Great paint scheme. He was pretty pumped up at Daytona, just hoping to continue to progress with this team. Air pressure change on the 14. A little bit of a slower stop here. Work finally complete, and he's away.
J.J. Yaley racing today in Las Vegas, leading laps, some momentum as he heads home next week. He's a Phoenix native, and that's where we'll be next Saturday afternoon, 3:30 Eastern time on Fox.
You know, the 18 pitted 1 lap prior to Joey, and I thought he was going to be able to get, he was close enough to him on the track. I thought he was going to be able to get in front of him, but didn't, came out just right behind him, and now is having a hard time getting by.
The advantage was like a second when the stops began. It got down to like a 1/4 of a second, but now it's stretched out once again. Half a second advantage for Joey Logano. And we told you about the issues for Justin Allgaier. 8th right now. Here's what they're saying.
Lots of time. Right back at it. Sorry about that. Lever's in no good. No pressure, buddy. Go get him, man. Worry about later. We'll get him.
That's great advice, isn't it? Worry about it later.
Yeah, I love hearing that, because in the car you've made a mistake, and he's thinking about that, right? He left pit road, and he's thinking about, man, why did I do that? What caused that? What, beating himself up. And so it's so nice to have your crew chief or the spotter come on and say, don't worry about it. We're going to move on, and we'll get him later. And it is a team sport, and we said that earlier when we saw the pit stops and Kyle Larson getting on pit road, his segment times on pit road, and then the amazing job the pit crew did. They were able to beat the 18 out. It's a huge team sport.
The loss for Allgaier, the gain for Ryan Reed, who finds himself 6th. And this might be as good a run as he's ever had when you take away those 2 victories at Daytona.
Yeah, and when he won his first Daytona race, he was just kind of circumstantially in the right place at the right time. But he drove that car to victory lane this year in Daytona.
He did an awesome job.
Did an amazing job. And when you can go out there and pull off what he did at Daytona, knowing that you've beat the best at their game, it just gives you confidence. And that confidence is certainly paying off here in Vegas. Like you said, Adam, is as fun as I've seen him run. Solid and fast.
He does a really good job in the car, but he also does a nice job. When he does his interviews, he speaks really well. I like him. He's a good kid.
38 starts in his career at 1.5 mile tracks. Only 1 time has he finished inside the top 10. A little insight to his struggles at this style of venue, but certainly getting it done here today. And it's a great thing to see. He and crew chief Phil Gould really with a great effort this afternoon.
Both of the Roush Fenway cars are good. But I mean, Bubba's in 5th and Ryan's in 6th. They're having a great day. I mean, we talked about that the junior motorsports cars were not quite as good as they have been at the 1.5 miles. It looks to me like the Roush Fenway cars have found something, and they're making the most of it today.
And we interviewed them, and they said, and we talked to Bubba, they said, we have a car now that we can go race them with, and it's showing.
Yeah, absolutely. When I saw his pre-race interview, you could see the confidence in what he said. The fact his car was good yesterday, you just could kind of tell the way he was talking that he felt good about his car.
Late rally for Austin Dillon. Really nice side-by-side battle here with he and Justin Allgaier for the 8th spot.
Yeah, it looks like Dillon's a little bit better than Allgaier now. Been working him over. Can't quite complete the pass, but driven to the bottom.
Yeah, when you come off underneath someone like that, you're like, I had a good corner, and you're just waiting on the spotter to say clear. He gave it to you. Jamie Little, do you have something down there?
Yes, Jamie. Austin Dillon really thought they were going to be good today. They started this race 5th, but he's just been so tight. He gets in the corner, that car just doesn't want to turn like he wants it to. They've been adjusting on it, but it hasn't made a whole lot of gains. Not exactly what we'd expect from Austin Dillon in Vegas.
I think about his history here, and I said it earlier, that dominating performance a couple of years ago, Jamie. He has a truck win here, and he was 5th 1 season ago in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup race. So Austin Dillon very comfortable at this track, but they have never been able to get that car dialed in this weekend.
Yeah.
This 22 car is desperately needing a caution if he wants to get back in this race. He's on the lead lap right now, but laps are running out, Chris Neville. How much longer can they go?
Well, you called it. That's what he's looking for, a caution. Now, they are on that lead lap after that last cycle there, but the problem is he's about a second a lap slower than the leader behind him. Coming up, Joey Logano, about 6 seconds behind him right now. So this team hoping that we get a caution in the next 6 to 7 laps.
Yeah, that fuel window starting to close on Brad Keselowski, who had that loose wheel, had to make an unscheduled pit stop at lap 108. 45 laps remaining. It's our final stage at Las Vegas. Joey Logano leading, and we're going side by side.
going to be the next big thing?
Here's the checkered flag. What a move.
These guys have an idea.
3 and 4 wide, fighting for position.
He knew he was up against the best.
For generations, you've celebrated the holidays with Smithfield and our hand-trimmed, slow-smoked hams. It's a flavor so genuine, we could only do one thing: cut it. Introducing Smithfield Anytime Favorites, the legendary taste you crave, sliced and diced to satisfy your craving anytime. Flavor hails from Smithfield.
Where's Frank? It's league night. Save money on motorcycle insurance with Geico going up the country, ball without me. Frank.
I'm going to get nachos. Snack bar's closed.
Yeah!
Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
My new Georgia Gold chicken tenders at KFC make regular Gold jealous. My Georgia Gold is hand-prepared with tangy honey mustard barbecue sauce, and Gold is only Gold. Get it as a chicken little sandwich, extra crispy tenders, or extra crispy chicken for a limited time. KFC, it's finger-licking Gold.
Part 1 of NASCAR Goes West this weekend at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. In a week, we're at Phoenix, 2 weeks' time, Southern California. All of it presented by Toyota. And Merry Christmas, Brad Keselowski, right?
Yeah, a little bit of debris on the racetrack. You can see there, NASCAR looked it over for a few laps, decided it was worthy of a caution. Big break for Brad Keselowski. We talked about him nearing his end of his fuel run. And for William Byron. William will get the free pass and back on the lead lap.
William right now scored in the 15th position, 6th caution of the day. That 9 kid doesn't give up, does he?
He's been impressive and ever since he showed up. The kid learned how to race on a computer doing the iRacing games, and he's just simply been amazing in every level of racing that he's participated. Won the most truck races ever for a rookie a year ago. Nearly won the championship, and he comes to Xfinity with a lot of momentum.
No-brainer. You come down pit road. I mean, the 22 is going to do it for sure, but what about everybody else, Larry? Come get that last set of tires?
You know, I look at Joey Logano here. He's run 17 laps. I look at Kyle Larson. He's run 16 laps. Track position is king. We may see some varying strategy here as we go back racing with about 35 to go. I think 4 tires is the way to go because you don't want to leave them laying in the pits.
I was just going to ask you, Jamie, do you think about 2 tires here?
Well, I don't know. I'm glad I'm not a crew chief is what I'm thinking. Boy, Larson is all over the 18 coming down pit road.
Here they are, Jamie.
And the 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr. saying he needs a little more stability. The car has been so good. One of the best cars he has had. Started off a little free, so it'll be a 4-tire stop. Kyle Larson, you see the tear off there. A 4-tire stop for him. Another good car. No adjustments, Chris.
And Joey Logano a bit more critical about the car on this last run, saying that the balance starting to lean a little bit to the loose side. Kyle Busch saying, I can't get into the corner of the car way too tight, and if I'm going to beat Joey Logano, I got to get off the corner better.
Good battle off of pit road. Worked out great for Kyle Larson earlier today when he got in front of Kyle Busch. Can't beat Joey Logano here, but does pick up a spot. So Larson gonna restart up toward the front of the field. Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, the rest of those drivers that came down the pit lane, and that's how they exited. Shannon?
Thanks so much, Adam. Well, it's been exciting. Let's take a look. Once again, Stage 1 winner was Kyle Busch, just ahead of Kyle Larson, and it was the Kyle show for a while. Brendan Gaughan had an issue under the hood, took him back behind the wall and dropped out of the top 30. And then Matt Tiff gets loose and sideways. He brushes the wall. Then with 11 laps to go, Brendan Gaughan once again, he has more troubles and he spins.
Yeah, Brendan Gaughan's going to be happy to get out of his home track. There is no question.
Just after the restart, some amazing three-wide racing. Then Brad Keselowski would go on to win stage 2, I'm sorry. And then, of course, we had some pit road strategy.
Yeah, actually, Brad Keselowski had to make an unscheduled stop at lap 108 under green for a loose wheel. So really, this caution right here was a total blessing for Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, he had his fingers crossed, his toes crossed, ready for that one to come out. But now you said it's just all about racing. Everyone's on the same cycle at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody has used all of their sets of tires. So pretty much for the next 30-plus laps, it's just whoever can get both hands and feet up on that steering wheel and get the job done. Strategy is over with now.
What do you expect to see right now? We got Logano, Larson, Kyle Busch. I mean, look, my goodness.
I would reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time for this restart.
Oh, you love saying that, don't you? Adam, we'll send it up to you.
All right, Shannon, I'm thinking 35 laps to go. Shannon talked about the players up front, but here's someone I'm thinking about. Brad Keselowski. He's back in the game, and we know he's going to be hungry on this restart.
And his lap times, they're awesome. He's got a really fast car, and it's going to be so much fun. We've seen 3 and 4 wide racing. We're going to see that from Brad Keselowski as he charges up through the field. I love this stuff, man.
But yeah, watching your teammate, Larson?
Yeah, I think Brad's too far back. It's going to be hard to pass that many cars in 35 laps when we go back green. The restart's going to be big right here between Logano and Larson, and I think who comes out in front, if we don't have another caution, that guy's going to be hard to pass.
Logano, the race leader. Last time in this situation, he said, I'm going to take the outside lane. Hadn't seen that today. If you're the race leader here, inside, outside, where do you want to be?
I think it depends on who's behind you. I think that's kind of how you decide that. It doesn't seem like one lane is preferred. It's all about the guy that gives you the push from behind.
Got to have that push, Adam.
It's going to be a nice shootout here.
We should call down there and ask him.
Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, Darrell Wallace Jr. on point. Next week, we're going to the desert.
Start revving your engines because it's time for more desert racing. Will it be one of Xfinity's young guns or a veteran to take the checkered flag at Phoenix Raceway? Coverage starts Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
How great is it going to be next weekend? You saw the promo there. We're on the air Saturday afternoon, 3:30 Eastern time. Low 80s today in Las Vegas. It's going to be in the 90s when we get to Phoenix.
And that means slipping and sliding around that mile racetrack and speeds, crazy speeds for a track of that size.
My wife and kids are going to Phoenix, and she was checking the weather, and she said, oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be 95 in Phoenix on Sunday. I said, what?
Daddy's got a race. How about a little bit of cooling?
How about a mid-75? Yeah.
Better pack the sunscreen. What's up, Chris?
Well, Joey Logano's crew chief Brian Wilson, a little bit of debate back and forth about which lane to choose. That last restart, you guys chose the outside. What's going to be the deciding factor this time?
Yeah, it sounds like he's leaning more towards who the best pusher is. To be honest with you, all I do is just kind of give him my 2 cents, but he's one of the best in the business with the restarts. I'm sure everyone knows that, so I'm going to let him choose and just sit back and watch it.
Yeah, watching those previous restarts, Kyle Busch has been a great pusher all day.
Well, that's a good point, Chris. He's really got some great starts, so probably the inside with Busch behind him would be the choice.
We're in Vegas. If I was betting, I would take the inside right here, I think, yes.
The land of opportunity on what could be our final restart of the day for some series regulars that have been outstanding. Darrell Wallace Jr. going to go from the top 5. He's 5th. Ryan Reed, his teammate, is 7th. Justin Allgaier, who scored the most points in our first 2 stages of the afternoon, is 9th. And Cole Custer, who's had a yo-yo day, will restart 10th, and they know if they can finish strong here, they will really help themselves when it comes to the championship chase. So Joey Logano is leading. He's led 71 laps. That's the most for any driver. 23 on the lead lap as we get set to return to the green flag. Kyle Busch won stage 1 by 6/100ths of a second over Kyle Larson. Brad Keselowski able to win stage 2.
Had a bunch of waiver rounds there. Guys getting a lap back. Some of them onto the lead lap. That'll help their cause.
Yeah, 17 guys took the wave. 8 of those will return to the lead lap with what will be 34 laps remaining when we go green.
The restarts have been aggressive all day long, but it's going to get even more aggressive right now because these guys know how the restart could dictate the winner of this race.
You know, and we've seen, Jamie, the push, like Kyle Busch pushing on Joey Logano when they hit toward turn 1. They've decided or elected to so far just to stay in line and push.
It might not happen that way now.
They could go to the apron and take them 3 wide because it's getting down to crunch time now.
Yeah, I mean, the 42 could be sitting in the best position because if Kyle Busch decides to push Joey for a while and then duck to the inside, Kyle will be in the best position being on the outside.
We were going to go green here, but the lights are back on our Toyota Camry pace car. NASCAR has added a lap as they continue to get the field sorted out.
I see Cole Custer's up in the top 10. He's been quiet all day, but he's having a great run.
He's always quiet, you know.
He is.
Hey,
he's sneaky, huh?
If you go back to Atlanta on Sunday and Brad Keselowski had those tire problems and the loose lug nut and all that, the chart for him was very interesting to look at. We did it Wednesday on NASCAR Race Hub. What about his chart today? Some highs and lows again for driver 22.
And it's just going to go back up toward the checker flag. He's going to move through the field, I think, into the top 5 position with the right cautions, the right brakes. He might rally again 2 weeks in a row to get the victory after problems on pit road.
Cole's the quiet one, but I do remember the truck race last year. And when he let loose, he let loose. That was an amazing.
He didn't have to say anything.
That was a moment that I will never forget.
Yeah, he took off.
He did. He's pretty fast.
We spent the night in Canada that night, and everywhere we went, everybody'd say, "Did y'all see that race today? It was so much fun." Athleticism too on display there.
Kyle Busch has won 87 times in his career. 12 times he's passed Joey Logano to get the victory. We'll see if that could pan out here.
And Joey Logano has very limited experience here, Adam, in the Xfinity Series.
His first ever start.
Can you believe that?
It's an amazing stat.
I mean, look what he's doing. He's in a position to win his first start.
All right, 33 to go when we go green. Logano inside of Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch and Suarez on row 2. Darrell Wallace Jr., Ty Dillon in our 3rd row as we go green again.
Yeah, the 18 is pushing the 12 big time right there. Oh, the 20 actually went to the outside of Kyle Larson, which is not going to be good for him.
Suarez around the outside. Allgaier sliding back in the middle.
Bubba Wallace up to 3rd.
See what the outside's going to have some momentum right here down the backstretch.
Ty Dillon in that outside lane. Larson crossing over to the inside.
Yeah, it just looks like the bottom's where you want to be when you get to turn 3. I saw guys on one of the restarts earlier kind of fighting to get down to the bottom. It's like the outside of 1 and 2. Oh, hang on.
That was a near miss.
This is we're getting aggressive right here.
Kyle's going to take advantage of it. Bubba lost some momentum there.
Looks like Kyle might have got loose on the entry right there. Or someone behind me might have got him loose.
And he's firing in that outside lane, trying to get Suarez for 4th. Ty Dillon coming with him. Kyle Busch starting to step up a little bit in turns 3 and 4, work that higher groove. And this is what we were talking about last time around the start-finish line.
You can see Bubba got loose off turn 4, lost some momentum, and he does a good job of blocking the 20 of Suarez. That was a close call.
Yep, that could have been big. Of course, the 42 loves seeing that because he had all the momentum coming on the outside.
Monitoring Brad Keselowski's progress up to 12.
Hold your own here.
Ray Black Jr. sliding, 7th caution of the day.
Dakota Armstrong around as well.
Definitely have 5 tires here.
Well, Joey has to make that same decision again on who he wants to push him. 18 was a good choice. I don't know now. What are you thinking?
I just love, you know, Kyle Larson's aggressiveness on the restart.
Yeah.
So maybe you switch it up and get up to the top side now.
The only thing bad about the top, and I'm sure that the Logano spotter is going to tell him this, is that Larson was on the outside last time and got put in the middle because the guy behind went to the outside. So it might be easier to defend the bottom.
Whoa. They didn't give Roy Black Jr. any room. Yeah. Ray Black Jr. I called him Roy last time too.
Yeah, Ray Black Jr.
Didn't give him any room.
Just off by 1 valve, that's all.
Oh, blew those tires out too. I wonder if he's got any in the pits.
He's got some used ones for sure.
He's not going to like the ones in the pits, I don't think.
And look at that smoke. I mean, these guys cannot see what they're driving into. And you can see Dakota Armstrong late in the going must got hit in the back, and around he went.
Ooh. Oh. Martin Waugh. Shooting right up the middle.
Who was that?
Martin Waugh.
His spotter needs to be a little more aggressive.
Or maybe he needs to listen closer.
Or just let off, yeah.
Hey, remember all those drivers that took the wave around? This caution good for them. Also good for Daniel Hemrick. First car 1 lap down. He'll be on the lead lap in 24.
Loving NASCAR goes west? Then don't miss NASCAR Race Hub, weekdays on FS1. This week, Joey Logano and Chad Knaus drop by to give us their take on all the action from Las Vegas. On Tuesday, it's all the best sights and sounds from Sin City in Radioactive. Plus, Dave Moody returns with a fan stake in The Pulse. That's all this week on NASCAR Race Hub. Monday through Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And on Thursday, 6 p.m. Only on FS1.
Yeah, we got a special time on Race Hub. Monday through Wednesday, we'll be at 7, back to 6 on Thursday. 27 laps to go here at Las Vegas. Jamie, how we doing on strategy down there?
Well, Seth Barber is calling the shots for Bubba Wallace, and right now you guys are running the best you have all day. You're third right now. The way the car is running, does he have anything for those two guys for the win here?
That's tough to say. You know, I think we got as good a shot as anybody. Bubba's been getting it done on restarts all day. The car's gotten a little bit tight on the long run, so we just hope we can hang on to the balance here.
All right, keep that driver healthy as well. Chris?
Yeah, and Matt Lucas filling in for Scott Graves this weekend with Kyle Busch, and we've got two drivers that are incredible restarters. What needs to happen here?
Well, we obviously need to figure a way to get around him. So we got Kyle up front again. We'll just see if he can figure out how to take advantage of Joey where we need to take advantage of him.
Yeah, boy, this is going to be exciting.
Won last week with Scott Graves atop the pit box. This week, Matt Lucas getting his opportunity. You know, Kyle Busch doesn't discriminate. He said, I don't care who's on the pit box. I don't care if he's got facial hair or not. I just want the checkered flag. He had never won here at his home track in 12 tries until last year, and we'll see if he can deliver back-to-back in Sin City. And Joey Logano, the race leader, the control car, said, give me the outside lane on this restart.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty torn on that. Skating in the 42, it sounds like he's pretty good on the top in 1 and 2, but struggles in 3 and 4. So, I mean, I don't know if that weighs into it some. Trying to go with him if he pushes it 1 and 2.
I mean, the whole thing is, will he stay with you?
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen on some restarts he's going 3 wide high, you know.
Harder to do when you're in the lead.
A lot of things to consider, huh, Jamie?
That's a big decision because you're the leader and you just don't know what's going to be right. And I think he made the right decision because I think that Kyle will push him. If the 42 goes to the outside of Logano, I don't think he makes it to the lead. He could end up back in 5th if it doesn't work out. So I think Joey's made the right decision. I think Kyle's probably going to push him and try to come out in 2nd and then race him for the win.
And then you've got Bubba Wallace, who's all about winning a race.
I'm telling you, I think that's going to be a guy to watch right here.
If memory serves me correct, this is the 3rd restart with Logano as the control car. Once on the inside, once on the outside. We'll see how he delivers here in that top groove. 25 laps to go as the green flag returns.
Yeah, nobody's on anyone's bumper right there, so I don't know that one lane was an advantage over the other. And actually, the 18 might have the advantage right now since there's no push.
Ty Dillon trying to take advantage of his teammate. Went to the apron, headed to turn 1.
Joey is on the door of the 18 right now, making sure that he gets the run.
You don't see that every day. Those guys usually give each other a little bit of room. That was aggressive.
And Larson filling the hole.
Clear. 42 still running the top.
Oh, the 42 might get around the top of him.
Clear up, clear up, clear up. Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, that worked out great for him.
Spotter Tab Boyd giving him the words he wanted to hear. All clear.
Yeah. Well, Joey got that part worked out. Now he just has to hold Kyle for the next 30 laps.
Boy, how would you like to be given that assignment? As good as Kyle Busch has been. 199 out of 200 laps led a year ago. Kyle Busch is there. Kyle Larson's there. He's got his mirror full of Kyles.
A lot of Kyle.
And right behind him, Austin Dillon. Where did he come from up in the top 5 lane? See Brad Keselowski still back there in 12th. Looking outside of that 33 of Brandon Jones. Cole Custer is there. Saw Ty Dillon on board with William Byron.
Got somebody in the wall.
Brendan Gaughan high off turn 2 again.
Just let it end, right?
Tough day.
Man, that stinks.
He just letting it all hang out.
And Joey's like, do not throw another caution right now. I do not want another restart.
It's Brad Keselowski, you see back there, middle of the pack, getting a little piece of the wall off the turn 2.
That was just a graze.
He's made up 1 position since the restart. He was 12th, now he's 11th. But William Byron thinking about changing that, and he does.
Elliott Sadler would like to follow along in that blue car.
He just barely rubbed the decal off, it looks like, on the right side of that car.
Another battle inside the top 10. Justin Allgaier and Ryan Reed. 2 solid runs for these guys. That's probably another guy that would prefer not to see a caution. Allgaier with problems closing this year and having such a great day. Got a good long run car. Could charge up into the top 5.
You know, Wallace got up to 3rd there and was feeling really good about things. Drop kick on the restart. He's 8th right now. Here's a look at why he slid back a little bit.
Oh.
He just got loose. Oh, still loose. And he's lost all of his momentum now, and so they're probably all the way down the straightaway are going to go by him.
Pretty good job to hang on to it, really, in traffic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
J.J. Yaley.
J.J. Yaley. I watched him get loose and couldn't keep.
Oh, here comes
the whole pack.
That was, yeah.
8th caution of the day out here at Las Vegas. Less than 20 laps to go, and Logano going to have to make that decision again, inside or outside.
I'm taking the inside this time.
Check out Yaley. Just gets down to the corner. We talked about loose in traffic. The thing just started bobbling when he entered, and JJ chased her. He was on the lead lap in 23rd. We talked about the lead lap earlier, talked about the solid run JJ was having, and you can see he's in a pack of really good cars right behind Ryan Sieg and inside of Ross Chastain, and lost the back end.
You know, they used to always say when we got sideways like that you're supposed to just lock it down. And then 10 years ago, someone figured out that you could just floor it and that you could actually drive away from the wall. And when you see a guy get loose like that, you see him, they'll literally just mat the gas and try to drive away from the wall.
And we've seen some guys put themselves in some pretty bad positions today, and a lot of nice recoveries. Good saves here so far at Las Vegas. 18 laps to go. Logano, Larson, Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, Daniel Suarez, your top 5. It's been a great Saturday afternoon, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything they learn making tires for the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what rolls into yours. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. And if you've enjoyed stage racing today, how about we add 100 miles and do it all again tomorrow? Race number 3 for the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. We're on Fox, 3 Eastern. You can watch it live at Fox Sports Go. Brad Keselowski won this race last year. He's starting on the pole and trying to go back-to-back in 2017. And the Toyotas, who didn't lead a lap last weekend at Atlanta, shocking. But I think Martin Truex Jr. ready to change that tomorrow.
How's the old number 1 car, Jamie? You gonna have a good day?
Yeah, our Credit One Chevy was good in practice. The track changed a lot, I thought, from yesterday in race trim to the first practice today to happy hour. Like I said, the rubber was getting laid down, and as it got hot this afternoon, it got slick. I think it's going to be a really good race tomorrow.
So we're just past 6:30 on the East Coast. 16 laps to go in the Boyd Gaming 300. I think 15 laps to go as they came across the start-finish line. And if you're just joining us, Stage 1 today went to Kyle Busch. He led the first 48 laps. Kyle Larson won the battle off the pit road after Stage 1. Brad Keselowski got hot. He won Stage 2. He had an issue with a wheel, and his teammate Joey Logano caught fire. Logano's led the most laps, being out front for 91 circuits. We're under caution for the 8th time, and Logano's got a decision to make once again, inside or outside for the restart.
I tell you what, the past few restarts you've been up top, it's looked really good. I would just stick with what's working right there. I'd feel better if we just stay with what's going good there. And if we get beat, but it's been going good.
All that scares me is how good of a pusher 18 is.
Yes. That would scare me too, because Kyle's got some amazing restarts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, he's in the same position he was last time. I agree with his crew chief that the outside is probably going to be better, because on the last restart there was no pushing, even though the 18 was in 3rd, and being on the outside is what got him the huge run down the backstretch. So I think you got to go the outside. But what Joey's wanting right now is for the spotter and for the crew chief to all think the same thing that he's thinking, so that it's not like a 50-50 decision.
All right, so Joey Logano leading this thing. A lot of decisions to make. Are they anxious down there in the 12 camp, Chris?
They're very anxious down here. Lots of debate about which lane to choose. And Joey Logano's spotter, Tab Boyd, telling him, hey, the 18, Kyle Busch, says he would rather push you than the 42. Joey came back over the radio and said, why would he rather push me?
Yeah, I'd like to know more of that myself.
There's a look at Brian Wilson. Started out the 2016 season crew chiefing the 22, moved to a little bit of a different role, helping develop these cars. And I think his work behind the scenes is why you've seen Team Penske with a lot more speed this year. And when you go back to last year, Joey Logano 2-0 driving this 12 car. Got to victory lane at Watkins Glen and an unbelievable restart late at Charlotte when he was able to get it done.
You know, as I'm watching them come down the backstretch, I think Kyle Larson's the happiest right now because he's like, man, I got the inside and I got Kyle Busch behind me and I'm in second.
The land of opportunity for Kyle Larson. Logano outside lane, Larson going to be inside. Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon on row 2. Then it's Suarez and Allgaier. Going to be 13 laps to go when we go green, and there will be 25 cars on the lead lap. Our 8th caution giving the free pass to Drew Herring. The money restart for Joey Logano. Here we go once again at Las Vegas.
Yeah, once again, no one's locked on any bumpers. I think that Joey's going to be in the better position here because he's going to be on the outside. He's going to hug the door again at the 42 as much as he can.
He goes right down to the bottom to try to side draft the 42, and Kyle Larson does a great job of coming off turn 2 even.
Austin Dillon with a big push in that outside lane. He's feeling good in the latter stages. In fact, his run may have been a difference maker, a little push for Logano, you think, in the 3?
Right there.
Suarez starting to make it happen in the inside lane, looking for 3rd. He's in that green 20 car.
Yeah, Suarez had a really good restart right there.
Oh, and he's going to do it. He pulls up in front of Dillon. Great pass.
You know, it's so hard because when you have to restart on scuffed tires or used tires 2 or 3 times, you just sometimes your car takes off better than it does others, and you just don't know. And it looks to me like the 20 car was not that good on the sticker tires we ran, but his car has taken off really good on scuffs.
Yeah, and Kyle Busch has dropped back a couple of spots. I don't think he's been overly happy with his car all day long. Obviously, he's a great driver and got a lot of speed and can overcome some handling difficulties, but just not the car that he's looking for today.
2 races this year, 2 top 10s for the rookie William Byron, and here we are. 11 laps to go and he's 8th. This kid just finds a way to get it done. Nice battle there. You saw Austin Dillon, Kyle Larson, and peeking in the 7 of Justin Allgaier.
We're inside 10 to go. This is when you got to get tough. Allgaier wants that spot.
If he could get up there and finish 4th, how good would he feel going to Phoenix next weekend?
Went from a rough start to thinking championship, right, Adam? Knowing you can have a day like this.
Look, here comes Bubba, too. Allgaier loves it because we're going to Phoenix, and at 94 degrees, that's going to feel like a dirt track next weekend, which is perfect for him.
Logano is just glued to the bottom of both ends. It seems like his car is obviously really working well right now. The 42's trying to work a little bit. Ooh, got a spinner.
Yeah, contact for a couple of rookies. Spencer Gallagher, Matt Tifft, he's trying to save it. No caution yet. There it is. 9th yellow flag of the afternoon.
Here we go. We get to do it all over again.
All good to roll there.
You know, Jamie, I love
Joey
being up here. I love being up here with you because I know you're thinking, if you're the driver, nobody crash, please.
Right.
Let's just run the thing out. And as a broadcaster and as a fan, I'm like, let's mix it up a little bit. Let's see a caution. Let these guys try to have another perfect restart.
At this point, Joey Logano, they've told him that the 19 car spun. and he's mad now. He doesn't even know how he spun or what happened, but he's mad at Tift right now, even though it wasn't his fault.
23 slid up into the wall, and Tift was coming aggressive inside, just ran out of room, it looked like.
Gallagher's been running that extreme high lane all day long, and it looks like maybe he just slipped up a little bit on exit. You can see.
This is one of those tracks when you get too high, the track's actually dirty. There's at a place like Atlanta, the higher you get, it just has grip. Like it's even though it's dirty, it's got a lot of grip. Here, when you get high, it actually gets a little bit slick, so you have to kind of slowly work your way up. And I think you can see the little bit of dust coming off the back of Spencer's car, and yeah, it just ran out of room.
Look at the job that Cole Custer does there, right in the middle of that mess, and he was able to sneak through.
Sneaky Cole.
That's right.
Yes.
He's quick too.
He is. He's fast.
You know you're not going to hear him when he's coming your way because he's so quiet.
If the crowd hadn't cheered, neither would anyone else, right?
All right, we're going to step aside. Big restart coming up to decide it in Las Vegas. We got it next. We're live on FS1. The money is on the line in Las Vegas. 5 laps remaining. When we get the restart here, Joey Logano in the race lead, going to choose that outside lane. No surprise. Kyle Larson inside of him. Keep your eye on Daniel Suarez restarting.
I agree.
Third.
And also Austin Dillon been very aggressive here as of late and got a great restart last time. We're going to go one more lap to get the lineup right, and then we're going to have a 4-lap sprint.
And if we get another caution, which would be our 10th of the day, we're going to go to overtime for the second time in 2017. All right, so we've laid out the players here. Kyle Larson's up front. Joey Logano is there leading this race. I mentioned Daniel Suarez. You can't count out Kyle Busch. Who are you putting your money on here in Las Vegas with 4 to go?
Well, I mean, you got to say Joey Logano. He's in the perfect car. He's in the perfect position. But, man, I just like Austin Dillon. I like the way he's gotten that car better. Remember yesterday in practice, he struggled. And he's just gotten better and better all day long. And he's put himself in a position to maybe win this race.
I mean, you have to go with Logano because he's led the last 80 laps. What I'm looking at is Daniel Suarez. He got to the outside of Kyle Larson on one of the previous restarts. That's still in Kyle's head. And I think he's going to do it again on this restart, so it's going to be exciting.
How about the psychology for the race leader who's had to endure so many restarts? Does that wear on Joey Logano here, Jamie?
Well, the last restart, he didn't clear him going down the backstretch. It took all the way into turn 3, and that's a little bit more nerve-wracking than the previous one where he cleared him like halfway down.
What I love about NASCAR is you've got to be nearly perfect all day long. He's done a perfect job up to this point. He's got to do it one more time.
And hope there's no more cautions, right?
Yeah, at least one more time.
You know who might be in the catbird seat? Series regular Justin Allgaier. Scored more points than anybody in those first 2 stages. And perhaps he could be the spoiler in Las Vegas. Long winless streak for him. He'd love to snap it here today. It's been 79 races since he went to victory lane. Last time for Joey Logano, October at Charlotte. See if he can get it done today. 4 laps to go.
You talked about Allgaier. Look at that big push he gives Austin Dillon.
And Larson looking good in that lower lane.
Yeah, I just think the 12's got such a run down the backstretch. Well, he's not going to clear him, though. They're going to have to race off into turn 3. Austin Dillon's going to play a factor in this right here.
Last time he really pushed Joey Logano out front, did Austin Dillon.
Just going to clear him off turn 4. That outside's been good for him. I mean, it's worked, and he's stuck with it the last 3 restarts, and it's paid off.
Well, no way he's going to put Larson up there with 4 to go, right?
You would never put Kyle to your outside. That is a fact. You know, the other thing that's hard to appreciate is that they're running definitely wide open through turns 1 and 2. And probably, I would say Joey was almost wide open on the outside of 3 and 4. It's hard to hang on to the car with that much throttle.
They're 3 wide into the corner. This could get tight.
Brad Keselowski trying to get back to the top 10 after all the problems he's had today. Meanwhile, his teammates, he's 2 laps to go to victory.
I tell you what, Elliott Sadler, end of the day, here he comes. He's going to have a solid finish.
How about the veteran? He's worked on that car all day long, and now he's in a position to get a top 10.
Junior Motorsports has 3 cars in the top 10. We didn't talk about them much in the first half of the race. Great day for Allgaier, Byron, and Sadler battling back.
Well, those guys have done a good job as race teams to race their way to get the best finish they can, and they deserve that.
White flag is out. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Here's Joey Logano into turn 1 for the final time.
I'm pretty sure that Credit One Bank at this point would like to see a big finish at the end.
I think they would. That would be a good finish for their driver. No caution, despite the issue down in turns 1 and 2. Larson closing in, but he's not going to get there. Logano 2-0 in the 12 car last year. He's going to start 2017 1-0. First start in Las Vegas, Joey Logano, a winner.
Well, Joey earned that. Yeah, there was a lot of tough restarts at the end. That was a great job he did today.
Good job.
Happy for Brian Wilson.
Yeah. Good job there, Logano. You are the man. That was awesome.
A lot of stress at the end of this one for Brian Wilson, making sure that they worked together and made the right decision, and Joey just sat in there and is as cool as he ever was.
Brian's a humble guy. He's worked really, really hard behind the scenes, and cool to see him getting the fruits of his labor. A winner today with Joey Logano at Las Vegas, the 3rd for Team Penske at this track by a 3rd different driver. Career win number 28 for Joey Logano, and here's what we were talking about down in turns 1 and 2. Final lap.
Well, there just wasn't enough room for all that. I won't really blame that on anyone. Ryan Reed had a big run, and he's trying to get all the positions he can. It was just they were 4 wide, and Ty came out on the bad end of that.
Yeah, Ty sprung down to the inside. William Byron also got a piece of it. Went from inside the top 10 back to 14th. They were racing for 10th when they made contact.
Tell you what, that's a long burnout.
That's a nice one there.
He's doing a great job.
Logano delivered the victory. Now the celebration is on in Sin City.
Welcome to the eBay Motors post-race show from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. What a race for Joey Logano. Survived those late restarts for 106 laps. Now let's go down to Victory Lane where Chris Neville is with Joey Logano.
Joey Logano getting 2 wins in 2016. Gets the first win for Team Penske in 2017 in his first Xfinity race here at Las Vegas. Joey, just a dominant day for you. You led 106 laps out there, but you had 5 restarts in that final stage. How intense was that?
Yeah, it was hard to figure out what to do and what lane to pick, but the one thing we did know is he had a very fast Rev Ford Mustang. Brian Wilson, all the guys that bring this 12 car out. That's 3 wins in a row for this 12 car, so that's something I'm proud to be a part of and work with these guys. And man, it's a lot of fun to have these Team Penske cars fast again in this Xfinity series. So man, it's just it feels good. Those restarts were crazy though. It's just you don't know what lane to pick. It depends on who's a good pusher, and you're trying to remember what was going on in the last one. But overall, I just got to think obviously Discount Tire, Snap-on, PPG, Shell Pennzoil, Coke, Wheels Up, everyone that helps us out with this whole Team Penske organization. So proud of it.
Great way to start the West Coast run. Jamie?
Well, Kyle Larson, what a day he had. Finished his 2nd. You led 33 laps today. Seems like your car was pretty good, better than most all day long. But where was Joey just a little better at the end?
Yeah, I thought Joey and I were pretty equal. I think just clean air was big. When I was out front, I could pull away similar to how he was. So I needed probably some longer runs there. We just kept getting cautions at the end. Maybe needed some lap traffic for sure, but all in all, a good day. The Credit One Bank Chevy was way better than I thought it would be going into the day. We were really good through the bumps, where yesterday we struggled. So that made it a lot of fun. We were able to run the bottom, and then there towards the end of the race I could move up and run the top in 1 and 2. So happy about that. Had some good restarts there late, almost cleared him a couple times, but he had the momentum.
Great day for Kyle Larson. He'll start 5th tomorrow in the Cup race.
What a day for Daniel Suarez. 8 straight top 5 finish on a 1.5-mile racetrack. When you look back to today, what stands out to you as being the most fun?
I think restarts. Restarts are always fun with all these guys. You know, the fun part is that a lot of these guys, they're racing just for the win, just like myself right now, and they are very aggressive. They're just moving forward, and if a mistake happens, it happens. But overall, I want to thank everyone in this team, the 20 Toyota Camry Intercept batteries, Norm Miller to help this program in the Xfinity Series, Peak that now is going to support a couple races here with us, and Juniper Networks as well is going to help us in the Xfinity program. I'm very happy and excited to keep racing in this great series.
Solid third for Daniel today.
Well, Matt, Daniel Suarez is right. A lot of guys just racing for the victory, just the W. But how about these guys? They're racing for a win, but they're also racing for points. We didn't say Elliott Sadler's name a lot today, but you see he's still on top of those standings. Ryan Reed, who won at Daytona, is second. You gotta give a lot of credit to William Byron, who's hanging in third, and Darrell Wallace Jr., you talked about him, Larry, in the pre-race show today, but for him to battle through that illness and be able to do that, a top 10 finish for Wallace today, what a great job.
Yeah, that's back-to-back sixth-place finishes, but yeah, Elliott Sadler battled all day long, and that's the reason he's still the points leader, another top 10 finish.
He was encouraged by that race finish last week at Atlanta and should certainly be encouraged by this one as well. Adam, what are you guys thinking?
Well, you look at the points, and you're going to talk about Elliott Sadler, who's at the top, but I'm going to talk about his teammate, the big point gainer today, Justin Allgaier, a much-needed top 5 finish.
Yeah, like I said, they struggled out of the gates early this year, but they put things together, and I think you can look at that team as now a group that you're going to have to beat week in and week out. William Byron struggled a bit today, got in that accident on the last lap, gave away some points. We've got some great contenders for this championship in 2017 in the Xfinity Series.
Saturday is done. Now we're ready for Sunday. You are starting 10th. What are your thoughts for 400 miles tomorrow?
Well, I mean, the track just keeps getting wider, and the fact it's going to be hot tomorrow, it's going to be slick. I look for a lot of the same as we had today. Being up here, it's a little different perspective than what you have watching on TV. There's some amazing racing going on out there, and it was a lot of fun to watch. I had a great time getting to be a part of it.
You come see us again anytime.
I would love to. I'd love for you to stand up and show everyone how tall that you actually are.
Okay, maybe we cheat a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Time to time, Shannon.
Thanks so much, Adam. The widest selection of parts have never been easier to shop. Check out eBay Motors to find the right part for your ride. Find it, add it, get it fast. 2 words that we didn't say today, Larry McReynolds?
Pit road speeding.
That's a lot more than 2 words. Too fast is what I was going to say. Unbelievable. It's all we talked about last week, and no speeding penalties today.
Well, and I question, was it going to be a good thing with NASCAR putting the monitor down there for the final practice? But obviously it made a difference, because if you look at our last 8 races here in Xfinity, 72 pit road speeding penalties, and they added a lot of segments. So obviously it made a difference with them being able to see that yesterday.
Michael Waltrip talked about this in the pre-race. Last year, Toyota finished 1, 2, 3. This year, they didn't.
Yeah, we've been talking. The Ford, Toyota, the gap's being closed, no question. What a start for Ford. They've won the first 2 Cup races, and now they've won 2 out of the 3 Xfinity Series races.
Cup guys sitting in those motorhomes right now. What did they learn today from this race?
The groove is widening out. You can go 3 wide, maybe not 4 wide, but you can go 3 wide.
And you want to start on that outside if the cars are anything like we saw today. Joey Logano stuck to that and was able to get to victory lane. Cool hanging out with you again. I'll see you next week in Phoenix.
Sounds great. In the desert.
Yeah, all right. The action is not finished. Coming up next on FS1, we have UFC Fight Night. So stick around for that. And we are signing off here in Vegas. We'll see you at the casinos.